Hi, good morning, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Today is February 20th, 2019. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Fan, General Counsel Riano, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Held, and myself, Secretary Donahue. The next meetings of the authority will be March 6th, March 20th, April 3rd, and April 16th. That last date is a Tuesday. If you have a phone, I heard a phone ring a little while ago. If you have a phone, please silence it. If you could take a call, please take it outside. As your item is called, please approach the podium, speak into the microphone, and please introduce yourself first before you get going. Typically, we start in Buffalo. There's going to be one item in Buffalo, just for the members' knowledge, but it's going to be at 12 o'clock. That's when the interpreter is available. Nothing else is signed into Buffalo right now, and there's nothing signed in Albany right now. So I guess we'll just go ahead to New York unless, Chairman, do you have any announcements to make?
No.
All right. The first item in New York City is item 315 and 316. It's 3419 Entertainment Corp.
Say that number again, Tom?
It's 315 and 316.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Stacy Weiss for the licensee. It's a conditional no contest. An offer, I worked this out with Ms. Marsico. It's $9,000 for the two cases.
So what happened here as far as this place has been open since 2002, and in the last year or year and a half, they've been in trouble.
Going in the wrong direction, so to speak.
Yeah, they've been re-instructed a couple of times. I think they're looking to sell the place.
So they're allowing it to be a free-for-all until they do? Is that?
No, not at all. They have been working, I've been working with them to try to get it straightened out before they sell it.
Do we have anything pending, or do you? I can check.
But I know that they are looking to sell it.
That's really not an answer.
I know it's not an answer, but I have been working with them to try to get it straightened out.
Have they done anything about the noise?
From what I understand, they have been working on that also. They have been, I think they got a limiter or something on the
This
equipment.
covers two cases.
Right.
It does look like there's other things possibly pending.
Are there?
All right, I'll accept, but they're running out of rope.
Okay, all right,
I'll accept.
thank you.
I'll
talk to
accept
them
as well.
about it.
Next item, 322 Cafe Miranda LLC.
Go ahead.
Stacy Weiss for the applicant. This is a wine store that's going into 83 Henry Street.
Are you opposition to this? Okay.
Okay. We'll hear from him
Yes.
first.
Plus.
Good morning. Howard Levine for Objectants, Madison Wine and Liquor, Chin Kong, Yi Fung Corp., and Madison Liquor, Inc. Objectants are 4 of the 5 closest package stores. This is an objection to the wine application. There are 3 stores within 1,000 feet and 7 stores in just over a quarter of a mile. In addition, there are 3 beer and wine stores within approximately 400 feet of the applicant's space.
Beer and wine stores?
An AX license.
So they're selling wine product, not.
Right.
Okay.
Wine product, 7
that again.
stores within just over a quarter of a mile, 3 within about 1,000 feet. The public is adequately served. There would be no real convenience to adding a wine store at this time. The area The population of the area is in decline. The 2010 census had it at 81,410. 2017 has a drop of almost 4.5% down to 77,925. This area, one-third of the population is below the poverty line. Median income is very low, 35,000, almost half of New York State and the United States as a whole. The existing stores offer a wide range of international, domestic, and local New York State product, including organic and kosher. There is generally flat or declining sales, a little bit of a bump here and there, but nothing that's marked considering the fact that the price of the inventory is going up and rent and other expenses are going up.
Are any of your clients bulletproof?
Both of the objections that are here today are, I'm sorry, one of the objections here today is bulletproof.
Which one?
The Madison Wine and Liquor.
Madison Liquor?
Yifeng is also bulletproof though, right?
Right, and you're from?
Samway, Chin Kong.
Right.
Are you
so-
bulletproof?
No.
There was also a license recently issued on Christie Street, which had a restriction of only the Mau Tai and Asian product wine, and the area is just totally oversaturated. It is respectfully submitted that the application should be denied. The public convenience and advantage will not be served, and perhaps this might even be an attempt to try to get in through the back door and get a wine license, and then somewhere down the road in the near future apply for change.
Madison is one of the clients?
Yes.
Do you have their numbers?
Madison Wine and Liquor submitted their gross sales. Yes, I have that here.
Can I see?
Sure.
Thank you.
And also Madison Liquor. Were you referring to Madison Wine and Liquor or Madison
That
Liquor?
was Madison Liquor. Was that Madison Liquor?
That was Madison Wine and Liquor. This here.
45, the one we have here, we already have their sales, the one you just gave me.
Oh,
But that's the one,
197 Madison?
yeah, that's what you're asking about, right?
Yes, thank you.
You can take this one back, we have this already.
I'd like two of the objections that are here to put their appearance on the record, and if you would just hear from them very, very briefly.
Sure.
What's your name and address?
Hi, my name is John. Location is 45 Madison Street. Well, I don't think we need another liquor store around or a wine store because most of the clientele around the area, it's really budget. We try to bring in high-end wines and it sits there.
But, so, if that's what they're gonna do, why would that bother you?
If it's just high-end wine, there's no point. Then they'll close down within a short period of time.
And then that's not your problem.
It's true, but if they're gonna change it to a liquor license,
Well, that remains to be seen. They're not applying for a liquor license. If they're applying for a wine license, I'll put on the record that they're not gonna get a liquor license.
Okay.
The other issue is, it's not only high-end wine that's going to be offered to the public. Obviously, there's going to be a wide range, and
Well, why don't we listen to them before we get into that? But, you're Madison Wine and Liquor?
Yes.
You bulletproof?
Yes,
And is Madison Liquor bulletproof?
I believe so.
So 3 of the 5 closest are bulletproof?
I believe so, yes.
Is somebody from World Wine here?
Well, wine, supposedly they're coming, but
Are they bulletproof?
They said they were not.
World Wine, I don't believe is.
It's not open yet.
That's the one on Christie Street that was.
Oh, right, it's not, right, she's right, it's not open yet. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
So Yifeng is bulletproof
We believe so, yeah.
on Division Street?
yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alexander Chin from Chin Kong. The address is 17 East Broadway.
And you're not bulletproof?
No, we are not bulletproof.
Okay.
I see the population in the area is declined, and also the sale is declined, and we don't believe
Your sales have gone up.
because the liquor, the cost is go up. It's not the sales go up.
Your sales over 4 years went up 40%.
No, because
The liquor's gotten 40% more expensive in that period of time?
for certain. But for overall, the earning is not like going up at all, and also the population is decline in the area, and there's like a lot of like empty store in the area also, and
Yeah, we're aware of that.
yes,
I mean, a lot of people on here could probably argue that their sales are going down, but you can't. So, thank you.
Do you accept credit cards or you accept cash only?
yeah, cash only.
I was here for the worldwide application. They did not represent that they were bulletproof.
Yeah, no, they're not.
That's the first thing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, they wouldn't have gotten that if they were bulletproof.
Come on. People might think I'm gonna be rude today, but I gotta go 3 hours home. And there's a snowstorm coming, so move it.
Okay, we'll move it. Yes, there's a tower that's opening up, they're talking about the population going down, but there's been a gentrification in the area, and there's a tower they're very close to, that's going to be opening up very shortly, that has about 800 and some odd units in it.
I'd rather talk to your clients, actually, Ted.
Okay, yeah, let them talk, please. They'll tell you everything
So
about it.
you both appear to have a long career in this business. Why are we doing this?
I think for me, starting out as a sommelier, there was such a strong connection with selling wine to humans and being passionate about that. And looking at my current position, I'm more in Excel world. And I think considering the gentrification of the neighborhood and what we're trying to do, getting that human connection back and being able
Why
to
here, though?
I think we really connect with the neighborhood. We're friends with a lot of local restaurant owners. I think right now,
Do you both live in the neighborhood?
I've been a resident of the neighborhood for 6 years. I've lived in Lower Manhattan for the last 12 years. I formerly lived on Ludlow and Canal and currently live on Market and Madison, which is about a block and a half away from the store. I've personally never been to any of the stores on our 5 closest. If you're seeking wine, it's not product that they carry. Sorry, I'm nervous. And our mixture is nothing compared to what they'll have.
Can you describe what your product mixture is going to be?
we're going to start out with a small inventory of about 125 selections, all organic, sustainable, biodynamic, a very, very strong focus on New York state wines, Long Island, and the Finger Lakes. That will represent about 20% of our inventory, if not 25%. But the point is to have an ever-rotating selection. With our connections right now, we'll have exclusive product that maybe you can't find anywhere else in the state.
And how are you going to do that?
You know, I've been in the wine community for quite some time as a somm, and I still work for a hotel group. I'm the brand ambassador for Wines of Bordeaux. We have strong connections internationally and with a lot of the local wineries.
And you think there's a clientele in this neighborhood for this?
Absolutely. If you look at the restaurant growth, Servos was voted
Top 10 restaurants in New York by Bon Appetit last year. Mission Chinese Food is right down the street. All of these places have come into existence in the last 5 to 7 years from a neighborhood who formerly had essentially 2 restaurants. And personally, as someone who lives in the community, I walk almost a mile to get to a store that carries wine of the caliber that we're looking for, and that will stock. So I think it's completely underserved given the people who not only are living in this neighborhood, many of whom I know a lot of the business owners, especially the restaurant owners, and this is a service that does not exist.
You're doing deliveries?
So you're Caitlin McConnell?
I'm Caitlin, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're doing deliveries?
Yes, with a strong focus. I have a marketing background, so we'll put a strong focus on marketing, things like dynamic websites, dynamic delivery menus, social media, education, and public classes are a very important part of the programming there. We'll do that regularly with winemakers. We will visit winemakers, we will bring them in, and that's a huge part of the dynamics and the community element that we are looking to foster.
And you're both still at the Standard?
Correct.
And you're both going to continue there, or
Yes.
so how are we going to split this up?
Well, right now, I think we'll be open 75 hours a week, and we're both dedicated to at least 60 hours. So there's not so much pressure on that. We make our own schedule. We don't work weekends. The store opens at 4. We get out of work at 6. So I don't really see there being an issue with our presence.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the store opens at 4?
4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Thursday, and then we open up earlier on the weekends.
Okay. It's a really small space, so how are you planning to do tasting and classes, et cetera? Because
If you look at some of the design plans, the majority of the store, while there is shelving against one wall, it's a pretty open space. So it's mostly standing tastings, but when we do have seminars, we'll be able to clear out some of the inventory.
And you're talking about 125?
125 to start, and then there's the potential to grow, but we really want to focus on a smaller selection where we can connect with people and see what people in the community are actually looking for. We've included the inventory in our packet.
Okay. Am I missing anything?
You tell us.
You guys have
We've
anything
been
else?
No,
pretty
I'm good.
thorough.
All right, do you have any? Yeah, you can say one more thing.
I don't doubt the experience of the applicants. This sounds a little bit more like a hobby, to the extent that I believe that the applicant mentioned that she has not visited the 5 nearest stores. I don't see how the representation could be made that the wine is unavailable. To the extent that there are 7 stores.
Well, 3 of them are bulletproof, so I don't know, given a bulletproof store, it'd be very difficult for her to go in and find out if it is available.
No,
You'd have to ask for bottle by bottle by bottle.
No, I respectfully disagree. With the bulletproof stores, the
Oh, they should
glass-
sit at the counter and look through the plastic?
Well, no, when you step into some of these areas, you don't step into a vestibule the size of this lectern. You step into an area perhaps as large as 100 square feet. There are shelves and shelves of product that are open for viewing. Perhaps you can't walk up and touch each bottle in some of these stores, but that doesn't undercut the amount of inventory that they offer. I, again, respectfully request.
Well,
the
you've seen, they gave a list of what they're going to carry. Did you show it to your clients?
I did not receive a copy of that list. I made the FOIL application but didn't receive the material in time. But in speaking to the clients, I understand the variety of wines that they offer. And to the extent that there are 7 stores in just a quarter of a mile, it seems to me that it's saturated.
Do any of the, or let's just stick with your clients, do any of your clients have expertise as a sommelier?
No, but they have years and years and years of experience in the sale of liquor. They meet with the distributors. They understand what the population in the area wants.
Thank you.
I would just ask if there is a tendency to approve the license, that perhaps there is a stipulation that they cannot apply for a full license like
Now,
you mentioned.
first of all, you're a lawyer, so you know that they have a right to apply for a full license. I can't put a stipulation that they can't apply for something that they legally have a right to do.
Well, then perhaps I can take you up on your offer to put on the record.
I will put that on the record.
And that
If it is approved.
if it is approved. And just a clarification on the hours, that's 4 p.m. to, I'm sorry, was that 10 p.m.? And then on the
I'm not gonna, I mean, their hours are what they are if they get approved. If they want to open at 4, they open at 4. As long as it's within the bounds of the law, we don't really care.
Fair enough.
You ready to vote?
Yep.
Commissioner Fan?
I see walking distance, there are 3 stores within 3 blocks and 1 store within 4 blocks, 1 store within 6 blocks. You're right underneath the Manhattan Bridge. I frankly just think that your business model is great. I don't think this is the location for this. I know Henry Street really well. I know Chinatown really well. I think the business that you're talking about is elsewhere. I do believe that Lower Manhattan could use this store, but I don't think this is the right location for it, and so I will vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
You know, it is a very small store. you're talking about reduced hours and so forth. But the closest stores are measured away in feet. Two of them are literally like just a block down and around the corner. And even though a couple of them are bulletproof, and even though there's one that, well, even though specifically because additionally I'm saying we have another one that hasn't even opened yet that we've approved. So I just don't see the need either, so I'm vote to deny.
I would have voted to approve, but it's denied. Thank you.
Next item is 332, Smokeworks Inc.
No, just, hello, I'm Pat DeLuca. I'm here to represent my client. This premise was, the license was canceled. The previous person vacated in September, about a month or so prior to my client finding the place, and we're here to answer any questions that you might have.
How'd you find out about this place?
How did you know about the place?
About my friend. My friend told me.
Friend of his, as far as I know, when I went there, word of mouth. It's right on the corner of Great Neck Road and Oak Street, very busy intersection. For it to be closed attracted a lot of attention. My office is about, or the building is about 3/4 of a mile away from there.
Who's his friend?
Oh, what friend?
Name?
Vicky?
Is that the prior licensee? Who's that? Is that an agent?
No.
Speak in the microphone because I cannot hear you.
He's just a friend.
All right, but what's the name of the friend?
Vicky?
And what did you hear from him?
He just said the store is closed because of like he lose license. So I just bought it.
And what does he do?
He do deli. He got deli business.
He's in the deli business, and he told you to go buy it.
Yes.
Where is he in the deli business?
There's no buy.
Where is he in the deli business?
In Cormac?
Do you know Gul Iqbal?
No.
I mean, this place wasn't even empty a month.
It's a high-profile place. This was called Flame, and it's on the busiest intersection in Copeg. So it attracted a lot of attention. It had been there for a really long time.
Does he know why it got canceled?
I think it's revoked.
It was canceled.
It's
because
canceled.
of what the problems that the
I don't
previous
know.
guy had. As far as I know, it was in the paper that there were, I think, sale to minors. I'm not really sure what his.
Oh, there was
issues-
gambling, drugs.
It was for them to cancel it. I assumed it was pretty serious.
That's helpful.
All I can say this, I mean, the history at the location is terrible. I just looked up both of his other licenses, and they are clean,
Well, he does have a sale to a minor.
except for the sale to minor, correct.
All right,
I'm okay with him.
okay.
Ready to vote then?
Yeah, I'll approve.
I'll approve.
Approved.
All right, sir, proceed.
Jonathan, no one's shown up in Albany, so I think we can assume no one's going to be there. All right, the next item is 320, Beverage Lovers Warehouse, Inc.
Yeah, we had another one. It's 326, I believe. It's on there.
I don't have it signed in, so why don't you just hold up? We went through this last
No, but
time.
it's right, I wrote it this time.
320, Beverage Lovers Warehouse.
Good morning. Francis Buscemi for the applicant today. With me is Emmanuel Granata. He is the principal of the applicant. I believe there is opposition.
Yeah, let us hear from them first.
My name is Michael Riley. I'm an attorney. I represent M&N Liquors. I have beside me is Tajinder Singh. Also, which I do not represent, is another one of the closest, is Hook Discount Wine and Liquor. He'll speak on his own. He's a person to the left of me. While I did make a FOIL request on 3 separate occasions, I got the wrong paperwork sent back to me. The last one that I did get was Long Island City. So I can only speak to what I believe would not be serving the public convenience and advantage. I have done my research. I submitted my objection or opposition thereto. I've submitted it to the board a while ago. The population of Valley Stream has grown by 60 people over the last 7 years. So basically, it's stagnant. According to all the research that I've done and also provided to this board, there is absolutely no gentrification whatsoever. There is a multitude of liquor stores, not only in Valley Stream, but also in the Rosedale surrounding area. And there's such an oversaturation that it can be shown from the gross sales letters. I did receive 3 gross sales letters, one of which is my client's, the other 2 is clear that have gone down. My client also tells me that as of this year, he's earned $800,000 for the entire year, just a little over, which is less than he would have.
He's M&N?
Yes. The other 2 I cannot speak to, but only what they wrote with their gross sales letters that was submitted to the board. According to my research, again, that was given up to the board, each one of the households has at least 2 cars. There is also buses and trains that go to all and can access all the liquor stores. There is no need for another liquor store. There is also 18 stores.
But what, I mean, are you aware that the second closest, I believe, Rosedale Village Liquor Store is closed?
I did not know that because...
Am I wrong in that?
It's pending. So from what I understand, it's not closed yet.
What do you mean it's pending? Speak in the microphone.
It was open before, and then it's closed down. They changed the location to the next door.
Yeah, we denied that, though.
Okay.
On 12/3/18, so they're closed. But go ahead.
Okay, again, the gross sales letters are clear that everybody's being served. Also, what I had a little query, when I did a little research, Beverage Lovers Warehouse, according to New York State Department of State Division of Corporation, has a address of process at 658 Rockaway Turnpike, Lawrence, New York, which is the address of Lance Wine and Liquors, just from doing a Google search. And it just struck me as very weird why that would be, where you have a person have service at this applicant. but
I
at
think you're
another.
going to hear the explanation for that, which is based on another application, but he'll explain it. Am I correct in that? Yeah.
And again, I don't believe it will meet the public convenience and advantage. My client will state the reasons why he further does
Okay.
not believe that.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Tajinder Singh from M&N Liquors. My sales have decreased. I've been in this business for 2 years, and the first year was 9-something, and now it's a little bit more than 800,000. And I'm a family-owned. My whole family works there, and this is our bread and butter.
How far is the Rosedale Village Liquor from you?
It's if you take it by blocks, maybe 10 blocks.
Okay.
What store are you again now?
M&N.
Okay.
Okay, and who's this? You're with him? All right, do you want to say something?
Yeah, it's Bikram. I'm from Hope Discount Wine and Liquor. The sales also went down, but there's not a lot of walking.
Your sales did not go down.
It's 8-something now.
No.
Goes through.
Do you own this place?
My father does.
1.8.
Yeah. No.
Well, in 2015, which is I guess the first
but
full
this
year
year's
you
going
had it,
down.
it was 1.6.
But this year's right now, it's for 6 months, it's about 8-something.
Yes, correct.
And if you times
Okay.
it by 2, it's going down. You know, this year, I'm not talking about before. This year, it went completely down, around like 200,000.
So what was your full year of 2018 sales?
I don't have the paper with me.
Well, do you have an idea?
For 18,
For 6 months, it was 862,000. What'd you do the next 6 months?
The next 6 months, probably around 1.6, something like that.
1.6
1.65
total?
Yeah, total overall.
Overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every month was slow. Only December picked up, but it decreased almost by 200,000.
Okay.
You know, and this is the only main business we have. This is the only business we have.
That's
Our whole
fine.
family works there.
I understand.
All right, thank you.
First, I'd just like to address a couple of the points that were raised by the opposition. With regard to population, I've given you two demographics surveys, one by the Green Acres Mall itself, and then by Geometrics, another survey on demographics and population. The population is not going down in the area. I don't know specifically, I don't carve out Valley Stream. I look within the trading area of the shopping center as well as a radius around the store. And you'll see from the presentation and what the submissions that were made that population is going up. Even within a 3-mile radius of the store, population is expected to increase over the next 5 years by like 10 or 11,000 people. Getting to the issue of the service of process on the filing receipt of the corporation. Mr. Granata, if you recall, he initially applied to the State Liquor Authority, and just this by way of background, under EBG LLC. It was him and his brother, and it was for a store, I think it was located in Elmont. That store, although you found them to be, fit and proper applicants, and you specifically mentioned that, the location you weren't satisfied with, and the application was disapproved on PCNA. Then Mr. Granata decided to try to purchase a store, and he was negotiating for the purchase of Lance Wine and Liquors. Shortly, he thought he had a deal made there, formed his company, and used the store address, which is what we normally do when you're going to be purchasing a business. So when you have the location is yours, that's your address for service and process. That deal fell through, and he moved on. So instead of forming another company, another corporation, he simply used that existing corporation to go into the Green Acres Mall situation.
Where's his brother?
His brother's not involved. That's why he didn't bother to use EBG LLC.
I get his brother's not involved.
His brother's not involved.
Does he own another store?
No.
What was the size?
His brother's a doctor. He was going to be an investor in the first EBG business, and that just, again, it was denied on PCNA. His brother backed away from it. Mr. Emmanuel is going on this.
What was the size of the first store?
The size of the first store was substantial. About 5,000? Something like 5,000.
Same size retail as this one that you're applying for?
Yeah, that was on the street. I don't remember the specific size, but I know it was a good-sized store, a large store. This one is
3,300.
located in Green Acres.
3,350.
Is located in Green Acres Mall.
Oh, I see, yeah, thank you.
All right, so this is located in Green Acres Mall. Green Acres Mall is a regional shopping center. It has over 2 million square feet of leasable space. It was it was renovated in 2007, and in 2016, the landlord added on an additional 350,000 square feet of outdoor shopping space, which runs contiguous to the original Green Acres Mall. The mall is a major shopping destination. It has a trading area which draws heavily from the surrounding suburban communities of southwestern Nassau County, and as well as areas of Queens County, southeastern borough of Queens. You have 750,000 people reside within a 5-mile radius of the mall. It's one of the most densely populated markets in the nation.
How far is Total Wines from here?
Total Wines is in Westbury. I don't have the stats on total. I mean, this is out.
I don't want the stats.
I
want to know
don't know.
how far.
I don't know the distance.
All right.
I don't know the distance. The mall is centrally located. It's less than 5 miles from JFK International Airport. It's located on Sunrise Highway, which is Route 27, borders Nassau and Queens counties. It's highly visible. It's accessible by vehicle, by rail, by bus. You have 60,000 cars travel in front of Green Acres Mall on Sunrise Highway every day. Annually, you have 15 million visitors go to Green Acres Mall. And that's where the applicant is drawing its customer base from. This is much different than having a store located in just a smaller shopping center or on the street.
Is he aware that Rosedale Village Liquor Store is closed?
Yes, that's now a fish store.
It is, something else is there?
It's a fish store, yes.
All right.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
All right, I think we're good.
So Total Wine is 16 miles from here.
Okay. Ready to vote? Yeah, I think, unless they have questions.
Can they say anything further?
Sure.
So if I don't know where the applicant's attorney is coming up with this population, I did the population analysis. I relied on.
You're talking about two different numbers. You're talking about Valley Stream, he's talking about the service area. So it's
Basically talking about the world. And if that would be,
okay.
how many cars come through.
But we're not gonna
Stream.
get into that
It's
now.
37,000, and it has stayed at 60. It's gone up by 60 people a year. That's according to the census. The federal government relies on that. I don't know where the stats are coming from.
I'm giving you census stats, and again, if
You're
this
talking
was
about two different areas.
Right,
so-
exactly.
Okay,
We're
what
talking
else?
about two different.
What else? He's talking about a much larger area than you're talking about.
This is a destination.
The issue is if Green Acres Malls, everybody's traveling in Green Acres Mall buying shopping, they'll buy liquor from, if you give them a license, who's gonna come to us? You know, I'm one of the closest one. If everybody goes there shopping here and there, everybody goes.
Well, we know where they're not going. They're not going to Rosedale Village Liquor.
Yeah, but then I'm nearby, I'm by 1.3, something like that. But if everybody goes to Green Acres Mall, buy shopping and stuff, and they'll buy liquor from, if you give them a license, who's gonna come to us? My sales are already decreasing. You know, we'll be going out of business, you know? And they're not opening up something small. They're opening up a pretty big store.
Okay.
We're gonna be out of business.
Destroy us.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
there's gonna be nothing, everybody gonna be shopping. Everybody gonna be shopping here, you know, once a week, whatever it is, and they'll shop from there, because we don't get a lot of walking distance. We get people from the cars, you know?
I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you.
We ready to vote then?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
With the impact of Total Wine, I think that the numbers just don't justify a new store at this location. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I mean, I didn't finish my presentation.
I know, but we've heard enough.
Commissioner Ford.
Unless they need more information, I don't.
I mean,
She
you know,
obviously doesn't.
I don't, you know, I'm assuming you went through my
We did.
presentation,
We did.
Mr. Granada's background.
Mr. Buscemi,
We did.
you're voting.
You know, just don't see how it could not serve public interest.
Mr. Buscemi, please.
All right.
You don't get a vote.
I kind of think that this store is kind of ideally situated for public convenience and advantage. I mean, amongst other stores, it's even further away than Rosedale's, which is closed now, was to the closest store, M&N. You have the support of a town supervisor, you have a support of a Nassau County legislature, so I'm going to vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well. It's replacing a store that just recently closed, and it's in a shopping mall, so there is a public convenience and advantage.
Thank you, have a good day.
Thank you.
Next item is 331, Sanvino Llc.
$331.
These were signed in first, so just have a seat.
How is that possible? Tom, how is that possible? That
What?
there's don't they sign in everything at once?
No, people show up. Whoever shows up signs in
Oh,
first. So just because an attorney has signed in 3 doesn't mean.
Well, is the applicant here for Sanvino Llc? Yes. Okay, come on up. Will you put your name on the record?
Morning, Antonino Dairo, one of the principals of Sanvino.
And you are?
Eden Tesfamariam, one of the owners as well.
Okay, we're going to hear from the opposition first. Thank you.
Good morning, Charles Lynn for the opposition. I represent Court Square Wines and Spirits at 24-20 Jackson Avenue and 2704 S&A Wines and Spirits at 42-14 Crescent Street. My client at S&A Wines, his family is in Poland, and that's why there's no representative from that store here. But there's also Long Island City Wine and Liquor, the third closest store. Mr. Jasper Gaba, the principal, is here, but I am not personally representing him. The trade name for this applicant, well, first of all, the application is for a liquor store at 43-25 Hunter Street in Long Island City. The trade name for the applicant is Enoteca, which I understand is used to describe a special type of local or regional wine shop that originated in Italy. That a quality wine shop is most often called Enoteca in Italian, and they cater to wine tastings and small producers. I'm emphasizing this because such a store is no different than the current surrounding stores in the neighborhood of Long Island City. Court Square Wines and Spirits at 24-20 Jackson Avenue on the same street as applicant. Please note that 43-25 Hunter Street is also known as 2601 Jackson Avenue, is just 870 feet door to door, both stores having entrances on the same street, which is Jackson Avenue. Court Square is a quality local wine shop. Court Square has a very large choice of Italian wines from commercial to high-end. It has wine tastings every Thursday, Friday, and occasionally other days with an entire separate room set aside specifically for the tastings. It also uses the front part of the store as well for tastings. It's an integral part of its operation. Court Square delivers 6 days per week. It has educational classes on a regular basis, and one of its managers, Megan, who is here today, has a wine-educated background. It utilizes social media. In addition, Court Square's inventory includes New York wines and a concentration of small producer samples. The other store, Long Island City Wines, again, who is here at 44-80 21st Street, just 1,400 feet from applicant, the third closest store, is a quality local wine shop as well. It has a large selection of wines ranging from $10 to $350 per bottle from all ends of the globe. Wines from places like Georgia, South Africa, all over Europe and North America and South America. It carries brand names as well as wines from small producers. Long Island City Wines has a large selection of wines from across Italy, starting from the northern parts of the country all the way down to choices from Sicily, multiple wines from Tuscany, Piedmont, San Marino, Veneto, Abruzzo, and Sardinia. Long Island City Wines has tastings every Friday and Saturday evenings on all holidays and days before a holiday. They have free local delivery up to a mile in every direction. They have educational material and regularly have write-ups about its wines ready for the public. As far as social media, they have ads on Google and also on Instagram and Facebook. Long Island City Wines has a wine sommelier, Rosemary, on staff throughout the week. The store manager, Vic, has over 10 years of experience in the wine and liquor retail business. Long Island City Wines carries New York wines from the Finger Lakes and Long Island. Its inventory is diverse. 50% of their wines and spirits are from small producers. And finally, the third closest store, 2704 S&A Wines and Spirits at 42-14 Crescent Street, is just 945 feet from applicant. Unlike the other two stores, it's more of a discount store with a large variety, about 3,000 SKUs of product. It has nearly 100 different SKUs of Italian wines and 10 to 15% of New York wines and small producers. As far as gross sales of these stores, Court Square has shown regular increases of sales over the years. The increase in sales comes from being an excellent neighbor and being well known in supporting many of the neighborhood institutions. Every year they support the Long Island City YMCA with a very large wine tasting and silent auction, which raises more than $10,000 for the YMCA. They're a member of the Long Island City Partnership and host a number of events during the year. They are a pickup location for the Community Supported Agriculture Association, and they're a major donor to the Anderson School and PS 78. The increase in sales is mostly attributable to their strong community involvement, as well as offering delivery 6 days per week, the wine tastings twice a week, increasing the number of SKUs, and offering superior service. The increase in sales has come from a lot of hard work, many times at the detriment to the bottom line. A very good portion of sales come from out of neighborhood because they do a tremendous amount of delivery, and they also measure that and do marketing with regards to their deliveries. So they do have considerable revenues that go outside of this neighborhood, which would, if they didn't, their revenues would be flat over the last few years. Court Square should not be penalized for the increased sales when its direct result
We
is
focus on public convenience and advantage. Their sales increase, decrease. That's all I'm really concerned about.
2704 SNA, the second closest store, has shown substantial increase of sales after 2016. However, this was a direct result of the removal of the Court Street area from the side street of Queens Plaza along the Queensboro Bridge to an area of limited accessibility. So it was immediately subsequent to the removal that their sales made a increase in that 2016 period. As to Long Island City Wines, their figures are not dispositive, as the store was newly opened in April 2017, less than 2 years ago. And the fourth closest store, I did request of it from the authority, but I don't think it reported. Yes, they're open, but I don't think they
Are
reported.
you sure they're open? You've seen it?
No, I have not seen it. Packard.
Packard Square open? You send enforcement out to them?
I apologize for not going out there before, but this is the second time within a year that there's been a protest on this when I did go out there last time.
Okay.
Cumulatively speaking, these combined marginal gross sales are not dispositive of a growing demand for liquor in this neighborhood. Population and demographics, there's been an enormous growth and gentrification of Long Island City in the past couple of years. It certainly continues to expand and grow. However, this should be put into...
Not like it was gonna.
Well, I was going to say, we have to put it into proper perspective now. It's amazing. Timing is everything in life. Long Island City covers 7 separate active zip codes. Zip code 11101 currently has a population estimated at 25,500, is less than the other 5 zip codes for Long Island City. Liquor stores within Long Island City number 17, with 11 within the zip code 11101, and 4 stores already servicing this Jackson Avenue, Crescent Street, Court Square neighborhood. The area of applicant is known for the city court building and an adjunct of the Supreme Court, Queens County, attributing to the name Court Square. Amazon was planning to occupy 1 million square feet of office space at the Citigroup Tower, a 53-story complex, to accommodate 5,000 Amazon employees. Not only has the Amazon development been terminated, but Citigroup is relocating most of its current employees in Long Island City to other New York metropolitan locations by mid-2020, and that has not changed. Recent publication of that has been in the journals and also in the news. This turn of events will create a devastating void in the Court Square, Jackson Avenue area for the local retailers. Finally, there's been a recent disapproval for a liquor store based upon public convenience and advantage. Armazan at 20...
How far away is that spot?
0.2 miles.
From the current, this location?
From the current location, yes. And that was just 1 year ago. And that was also verified by when I did my FOIL request, the authority, it was noted that it was 0.2 miles from this
All right,
applicant.
wrap it up.
All right, based upon all the following, it is believed that public convenience and advantage will not be serviced. Licensing this applicant as no new service or product line will be introduced by applicant. The area has just accepted 2 new stores into the Court Square area in the last 2 years. 2704 S&A Wines on a removal, and Long Island City Wines as a new application. The increase of gross sales, nor the volume of sales of the closest store.
What year was S&A Wines removed here?
2 years ago.
I don't have
the
that on
exact-
our, is that true? Wouldn't that be reflected in the numbers we have? Okay, go ahead, she'll look it up.
And we have finally the huge demographic disrupt. I feel like President Trump. I would had an hour's pause in between. Finally, the demographic disruption of the termination of Amazon into this area and the wholesale abandoning of 1 million square feet from the Citigroup building. The centerpiece of the vitality of this Court Square neighborhood of Long Island City certainly does not warrant a new liquor store in this area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you all with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. I think we all know that Long Island City is the #1 growing neighborhood in all of New York. In fact, a month before Amazon announced their now dead deal, Wall Street Journal named this the fastest growing city in New York. Within a 1-block radius, 500 feet, 6 brand new towers are going up from where this proposed location is. Across the street, not even 500 feet away, across from the Citicorp building that he keeps referring to, is the tallest tower being built in New York State outside of New York City. I think it's 75 or 78 floors, residential. Behind us, directly across the street, 18 stories.
But we just put a store in there in 2017, so why do we need another one?
The stores that he's referring to.
And removed one apparently, which is.
The stores that he's referring to, Chairman Bradley, are what we describe as grab and go. They're very, very convenient to go buy a bottle of wine or a bottle of liquor and then leave. As far as being interactive and dynamic, I've been in the neighborhood for a year and a half. We have a restaurant a couple stores down. We speak to our customers every single day, customers that live in the neighborhood that have been crying for a higher-end wine and liquor store in the neighborhood. Like I said, 6 brand new towers are going up within a 1-block radius. The building that we're locating in has been open for a year. It's got 1,000 units. Across the street, the same landlord has 780 units. Within 2-block radius, there's 5,000 units opening up within the next 24 months. So in terms of population growth, this area specifically on Jackson Avenue is exploding. Something the city hasn't seen and will not see in the next 10 years. The only other place in the city that has more cranes is Hudson Yards. What we propose to do in this location is not a grab and go like the other locations are. Because my partner and I have been in this business for many, many years, in the hospitality business in general, we have many contacts in the wine import business. We actually will do classes. This is not envisioned as a grab-and-go location. We're speaking to our structural engineer about putting a steel mezzanine for wine storage and using the proposed wine storage area in the back for classes. Interactive, dynamic, where we have producers come in once a week, explain to the people where the wine comes from, how it's grown, and the distinction between the different growing regions in the world. At our restaurant, because of the high demand of where we are, and we understand what's going on in the neighborhood, one of the buildings that just opened up just west of the Queensboro Bridge have come to us a number of times, Tower 28, to do classes there to teach their residents in an interactive, dynamic way about wine, about food, about spirits. And we've given 2 or 3 classes in the past 7 months there. So there is a need. There is a desire in the neighborhood.
What kind of restaurant is it?
Italian restaurant, serving 100% Italian list. This location, if it is approved, will have the whole world, the major growing regions in the world being represented.
Who's your investor?
Vess was a family friend for many, many years. He's retired. He was in the restaurant business for many, many years. Mr. Antonio. He's in Florida right now, retired.
How come you list yourself as a lawyer?
Because I am.
You don't want to be known as restaurant owner?
Well, I mean, you never, it's like a disease. You never really get rid of being a lawyer, I guess. I mean, unfortunately. No offense to the lawyers in the room. But no, I still do practice, especially for the restaurants.
Okay, cool.
I have a couple clients outside of the business that I still
Is the
service.
restaurant you're talking about at 669 Union Street?
No, this is,
What restaurant is that?
that's another one that we own. It's more of a pizzeria.
What restaurant is the one you own in Long Island City? SIBO?
SIBO, yeah.
So that's not even licensed yet?
It recently got licensed.
Okay.
A few months ago.
And that's what you said is a 100% Italian restaurant?
List, the wine list. We don't do anything outside of
And
that.
you run that, or do you run that?
She's there at nights. I'm there during the day usually. And so, like I said, we speak to our clients every single day, from the people that work at the JetBlue headquarters down the street, to the Department of Health, to the City Corp people. There is a huge demand in this neighborhood for what we envision on opening there. Nordstrom Macy's is opening up their world headquarters 2 blocks down the street. Tishman's building up a 5,000 square foot food court 2 blocks away. 3 brand new towers just opened up 2 blocks away. So to say that this area is exploding, it would be completely false. So there is demand. I think we will fill that demand with what we envision on doing in this location. Like I
Who's
said,
going to work at this place then?
We've been interviewing a number of different sommeliers to take over the reins and manage the place.
So neither of you will work here?
I mean, we're next door, so we'll keep an eye on the place. But in terms of
When you say next door, how far?
3 storefronts down. It's the same block. The landlord, Rock Rose owns almost the entire block, and it's the same landlord. So we're 3 storefronts down.
Okay. With the removal. Oh, okay. That's why it's not in here.
Are we ready to vote?
Yep.
Commissioner Fan?
So that didn't even come to, I'm sorry, that didn't even come to us. Oh, it did? It was 417 feet and it still came?
37 feet.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to vote for positivity in Long Island City, so I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Interesting.
The reason the last one was rejected down the street was because of
your vote.
My vote. The chairman voted to approve, so I'm going to remain consistent and vote to deny.
As am I. Going to remain consistent. I vote to approve. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I think there may have been some people here, no, Mr. DeLuca, who, for Cafe Miranda, if you showed, that matter was already decided by the members. It was a second item. It was disapproved, so if you're here, you missed it. Next item is 324, Ol Enterprise Llc.
Good morning, everybody. My
All
name
right,
is...
so as I said, I'm going to cut you off here because I think everyone has decided this. We're going to grant the reconsideration, accept the money.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Going back to council.
No, we're accepting the check. Right?
We were just wrapping up, Commissioner, we're wrapping up a case that was kind of off by itself into the original disposition.
That's correct. We mailed the check already a long time ago.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 340, Villa Samita, Inc.
Tom, we can do 2 minutes after this.
You want to take a break now, or?
It can be after this, thank you.
Good morning. Joseph Levy here on behalf of the licensee and applicant, in this instance, Ms. Smita. There is opposition here. I assume you want to hear from them first?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Susan Stetzer, here representing Community Board 3. I'm here also with a representative from Assemblymember Epstein's office and a resident representing the cooperative residents at 50 Avenue A and a resident of the building across the street that, and was one of approximately 10 people who met with the business owner when he was about to open his business. As a disclaimer, I also live across the street. About 10 residents from the building met with the owners when they were, before they even opened, after they were approved by the community board before they opened. I was one of those present. We were shown a layout that had a small restaurant in front of a hallway that led to a back small bar and a few booths. We were pleased with the layout that had low impact and a small bar in back. Residents talked with the owners about the problems of late-night noise in the neighborhood and also problems caused by a previous bar in the 90s. They were welcomed and told by the community they would support their affordable restaurant. This business has significance beyond what you would expect for its size. This is one of our first administrative approvals, a program we have to encourage beer wine businesses to close at an hour that will not contribute to late-night noise from drunk people coming to the East Village to eat and drink. If the business will agree to stipulations that include beer wine license, close at midnight, and a few others that ensure a low-impact business, the recommendation is administratively approved by the board without the applicant appearing before the committee. These stipulations depend on honesty and trust and have been largely extremely successful. Unfortunately, this particular business has been in violation from the start. If the intent of the application and the stipulations are not honored and enforced, there cannot be successful agreements between community boards and businesses. From the beginning, the business did not follow license conditions. At first, it consistently stayed open past midnight. When they were caught with non-compliance hours, they did correct this. However, they served full liquor without a license. The worst thing was the purposeful lying. When the business came to the community board for an alteration in December 2015, residents testified that they had been served cocktails with liquor or not even aware this was a beer wine license. The owners very aggressively said this was untrue, their wine-based mix was very good, and people could not tell the difference. I cannot emphasize how aggressive they were in the denial. After the meeting, one spoke to me alone and insisted they served only wine-based cocktails. We later found out that same week, SLA had inspected the restaurant and found an open box of liquor bottles on the floor behind the bar. This is a real lack of trust. The business presented itself on the stipulations as a fast casual restaurant. Within the first year, they altered the plan to bring the bar in front and completely open the top half of the facade and placed a counter at the window. This had customers sitting on an open facade on the street and facing the street while drinking. This was without notification to the SLA or the community board. I told them this was illegal, and they then sent a notice to alter to the SLA. They then again altered without notification to the CB or SLA and completely opened the whole front of the business with French doors. This accompanied the introduction of boozy brunches. They are the only business I'm aware of in the neighborhood that advertises boozy brunch at a separate fee for 2 hours that's separate from the charge for food. I am told this is legal because it's accompanied by food, but it promotes binge drinking and is not a food-focused restaurant. They also now advertise open bar. They did recently for a Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. It did not say with a meal that I could see. The Super Bowl ad said with past appetizers. Unfortunately, I don't have the legal expertise to know if there are loopholes, but I do know open bars are illegal. If there's a loophole that allows this advertising, it is not in good faith. The business has A-frame signs in front every day. The ads for cocktails do not indicate they are wine-based. Again, I assume this is legal but not honest. They now have messages on their signs. One is, it's a crime to leave sober. Another is, stop drinking, stop thinking, start drinking. Again, this is not the business that was presented to us. It is not the message we promote in our community, and it does promote a drinking business, not a restaurant. I don't know if there are legal loopholes that can allow this business to operate as it does, but it gives a bad name to businesses that are coming to the community as good neighbors that want to make honest agreements with the community. And I've also just discovered in looking over the original application to us and later applications to the SLA that the number of seats went from 20 to 45 and now 62. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael?
Try not to repeat.
I'm here to read the testimony of Assemblymember Harvey Epstein, Senator Brad Hoylman, and Councilwoman Carlina Rivera.
Do we all have that?
Yeah, we have that. You handed that in to us?
Yes. And I have additional copies.
Yeah.
No, but I think have you all read this?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to read from that, we've all read it.
We have it. Thank you.
Terrific.
It's already in the record.
Hope your trip is...
You can, well, I mean, we don't, sir, we have here.
No, I'm not objecting.
Oh.
I'm happy.
If you're going to read it word for word, we don't do shows for the audience. That's not the point. Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Virgil Wong. I am a shareholder and a resident at 50 Avenue A, where the business is located. I've been there for 20 years. I'm also an elected board member of the co-op.
What's the address?
It's 50 Avenue A.
Okay.
It's right, yeah, there. We're right above them.
Same building.
Same building. In the building, there are 7 young children, 7 single women, and many other residents who've expressed to the board and board members themselves who've expressed ongoing safety and quality of life concerns due to the now alcohol-first focus of this establishment, as well as the layout that promotes this. Because the bar is now up front, residents have reported intoxicated individuals harassing us as we're entering the building. We're literally right next door.
How many units is the building?
There are 16 units.
Okay.
So we're a small building. We've also had reports of individuals that we believe was from Villa Semita banging on the front doors of our apartment, intoxicated individuals, and we're not sure if it's staff or customers.
The front door, whoa. They're banging on your apartment doors?
On our apartment doors. So the building,
How are they in the building?
The building is set up where there's no separation between the business and the residents. So we share the same staircase. There's only one staircase in the building. We have the same basement, so employees can kind of come in and out. There's also only one single door that's usually left unlocked between the staircase, between the legally placed bar and the staircase that brings people right into our building. So there's really no way for us to put up a locked door or a gate. They need access to the basement, and we can't.
What is the setup like? Is there another business that's on the first floor, or this is the only business?
This is the only business that is kind of open to us. There used to be a Citibank, which another business moving in, but there's like a sealed door that's never opened, and the only way to access that is from the front entrance.
So they're walking through the front entrance of your building in order to get to the restaurant?
No, they can. There's an entrance to the restaurant right next to the entrance to our building.
But there's no key card or anything to get into your building?
No, in our building, it's like the street side. So there's a street, there's the entrance to our building, and we have a video surveillance system. My understanding is that the business owners have keys to our residence entrance, and we're not sure legally if they're allowed to do that, but they do use.
But how are the customers getting in?
There is a door. We're not sure if if they're coming in from.
Could you show us in the restaurant?
Yes, I can show you that.
Say the customers have their own entrance, but there is an entrance from the restaurant to the building that the customers should not be using.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
what they're saying is that occasionally it happens.
But what, so is it a fire exit or something that they're going through?
No, it's a door to the staircase of the building.
I know, I get that, but why are they walking out? What would that door from the restaurant be for? Well, they can explain it to me. Go ahead.
It's primarily used by the staff members.
Okay.
So when they go in and out, when they go to the basement, it's the same staircase that they use that goes into our building.
Or residents of the building?
Yes, it's the same residence. So the same staircase that you take to go to the basement, it's our basement, it's the same staircase that we use.
Oh, yeah, no, I see it in the diagram. All right, go ahead.
Sure. So we're probably most concerned, as you saw in the letter, by the repeated and recent sexual assault allegations. This is something that's come up with the board as well as all the residents. Sexual assault allegations associated with this business. Some additional details from the letter. April 10th, 2016, we heard reports of 2 female customers who claimed that their drinks were drugged by Mr. Omar Kwatsa, a member of the owner's family. A woman named Ingrid Otsby claimed that Mr. Kwatsa then sexually assaulted her in the bathroom of the residence, which is directly behind where the door is into our building. On May 2nd, 2018, more recently, the front doors of our building were propped open by a police officer who was questioning all the people coming in and out about an alleged assault in the restaurant space. And my understanding was that it was also the owner's son who was accused of this incident. As you heard, there's a chalkboard placard in front of the restaurant advertising messages that Ms. Dessner mentioned, stop thinking, start drinking. And unfortunately, I can confirm as a resident that this sort of behavior has been exhibited by the customers. In addition to the aforementioned incidents, the noise levels have been really extraordinary since Villa Semita legally switched from their food to their alcohol-based focus. I installed soundproofing in my apartment. I live in East Village. I'm accustomed to noise. I just kind of did that about 10 years ago, and it's worked great up until Villa Semita's presence.
They have DJs there?
My understanding is do they currently have DJs there?
No, I'm asking, do they have them?
Do they?
I don't go in there, but I hear a lot of noise from the establishment.
Live music?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
It's mostly the people like on the streets coming out who seem to be very intoxicated. And I'm on the 4th floor, and so there are now 2 panes of glass in my bedroom, and I can definitely hear those individuals on the street. Their website advertises $4 drinks for happy hour Tuesday through Thursday, all day, all night. That's explicitly on their site, and these are definitely not happy hours for our residents, all the families and children right above them. I would like to also state that there are many residents who expressed to me specifically that they are not here because they genuinely have expressed fear about reprisal from the business by making a statement, especially given the easy access by the employees into the residential space. Several residents reported that they felt intimidated when an owner went door to door throughout the building, asking residents to sign a petition supporting their current efforts to legalize the currently illegal alterations that they made. And my understanding is that they did not state what the petition was actually for. It was 2 other board members who had expressed this. I did not speak to them when that occurred. We have expressed all these concerns to both Villa Smita. I didn't speak with them directly. It was another board member who was nervous
When you
about
say
being
board, you mean board of your building?
a co-op board, yes, of the building, the residential space. One of the other members had spoken with Villa Smita. We have also spoken with their landlord, who is on the co-op board as well, Mr. Michael Riccozzi. Mr. Riccozzi has claimed to have spoken with the owners on numerous occasions regarding these issues, but these problems are continuing. We are especially disappointed with the situation because, as far as I can recall, there was not a single issue with the previous business that was in that space.
What was the previous business?
It was a food-focused establishment called Native Bean, and they moved down the street.
They have a license?
No. Yeah, I don't think they served alcohol at all. They were just purely food and coffee. And so when Villa Smita claimed to be the same sort of establishment, we didn't anticipate any issues. So, given this history of ignoring the SLA and by doing these illegal alterations, the sexual assault allegations associated with the owner's family, and the harassment and undue disturbance, which I can count for, from this increasingly larger number of intoxicated people inside our building with very easy access into our homes, the families of 50 Avenue A respectfully asked the commissioners to deny the owner's application to legalize the currently illegal alterations they made to become this alcohol-centric business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your consideration.
My name is Kathy Susage. I come today because I was one of the original people that went to speak to the new owners, and we had really told them that we really didn't want another bar, and in the neighborhood, right across to First Avenue. We have the village. Village housing with a lot of senior citizens. And they really were looking for a place that was going to have a restaurant and, wine and beer. And that was our consideration when we went there. We understood that the bar would basically be in the back. The front would have tables and inviting families. And so we went in agreement that that was what it was going to be. And within a little more than a year, they put the bar towards the front. They took away the tables and chairs that were for family dining, and it was created into a bar, and it has been primarily a bar since then. And the other thing that occurred was, without an application, they changed the door to French doors, which made the bar part come like out into the street. And it does create tremendous noise. We can hear this, not on the lower level so much, but upper level between 3rd Street and 4th Street. People are complaining constantly, and it has changed. It's just added to the number of bars that are in the East Village, and that wasn't what we wanted from the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Levy?
Sorry, Ms. Stetzer, can I just ask you a follow-up question? Can you clarify what you said about the content of the alcohol? That there was...
So they advertised, you mean when I said that was a lie?
Yes.
So there was a period, particularly in 2015, where residents in my building were complaining they were serving full alcohol. But when they came to the community board for the alteration, we had a number of residents said they had been served full liquor. they had been served cocktails with full liquor. One of them was even one of my staff members. And the owner said, no, absolutely was not true. However, the SLA that same week did an investigation and actually gave them a violation for it. But it was a very aggressive denial. There were actually people that were
Right.
upset.
Right, but that's not part of the application today.
No, but what we are saying today, as far as trust, we were just giving adverse history, is that the signs outside on the street advertise margaritas. They don't say anywhere they're wine-based. I understand this is legal, but what I'm saying is that they are purposely attracting a crowd that is actually looking for full liquor.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. A lot to cover here. I'll make it as absolutely quick as
Who's
possible.
with you?
I have with me one of the owners and the head chef, who is one of the principals on the liquor license, along with her husband, and her daughter, who sort of runs the front of the house operations of the business.
Okay.
So they're both on site every day, her in the kitchen, her in the front of the house.
Okay.
So the application before you today is for this alteration application.
And where do they live?
Avenue A and 10. Before I lived on Avenue A and First Street on East Houston.
Okay.
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So I think it's important to just kind of dig into the history here for a couple moments before I address some of what was said earlier. So by way of background, when they first appeared before the community board, the State Liquor Authority filed their initial liquor license application. I was not their attorney of record. I did not meet them until they got their first disciplinary violation for operating a space within inappropriately altered bar and seating. At that point, I spoke to them. I went through all their documentation, went through their history. It was a classic, I didn't know there was anything I had to do. Business wasn't working. We are a food-focused place, and kind of as a side note, 65% of their revenue is food, 35% is beer and wine.
And
So
why are they publicizing just the beer and wine?
They're not.
There's pictures that we have that indicate that's all that is
Sure,
being.
so people put cute things on their sandwich board, things to get people into the restaurant.
Sandwich boards are illegal.
Well,
you know this.
You know that everyone has them. But there are write-ups about their food.
I was not aware of that, actually.
Oh, don't come to see before.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. There are other sandwich boards on the block. Anyway, so their position was that they make great food, people come for the food, and that's actually where they make their money. So they weren't able to do it with the current layout, so they changed the layout to bring the bar up front to add additional seating on the side and in the back. That was going to be better for their business model. They did it. They didn't know there was anything else they had to do. They got a violation for it. They paid the violation. Their prior attorney had notified the community board. The community board denied their request to do an alteration based on the fact that they did it without seeking permission first, and they didn't know. They thought that was it. They didn't think that they could do anything else because they got denied by the community board. I met them shortly thereafter. I said, no, we can notify again. We can go to the liquor authority, which is what we did. It's taken us forever to get to this point today because there have been disciplinary infractions that have popped up along the way, and every time one of those happens, we start over, and then the community board notice lapsed, we had to re-notify. So just to address some of those disciplinary actions that did pop up, one of them was getting a violation for having an unauthorized altered premise again, which is what we're trying to apply to fix. That was, I believe, the last one that I was here before you discussing. The issue of the sexual assault matter. This apparently was an employee of the restaurant who was terminated, who still had keys, and something went on after hours when their business was shut. This was not anyone actively working at the restaurant. He's no longer working at the restaurant. He wasn't working at the restaurant at the time, and they've changed their locks to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. As for the drug...
So it was allegedly in the restaurant, but after hours.
In the restaurant or in a common hallway? What was the story?
In the restaurant. So it was in the restaurant, and we didn't know that he had keys to it.
Don't you have an alarm system in the place?
We don't have an alarm system. We do have cameras.
Could you go up to the microphone, please?
We don't have alarm system, but we do have cameras, and we did understand that we actually changed our gate to open before. We had to go through like the residents' side to open our restaurant through the side door, which leads to the restaurant. But now we only go through our door. We paid so that the gate opens from outside, not from inside. To respect our tenants above. And we do have a full-service restaurant. There's actually 6 bars from 1st to 4th Street, and we're the only full-service restaurant besides Angelina's, which is a bakery Italian restaurant. There is another bar after the space, the second commercial space. It's a comedy show, but they also have a bar, and they also make a lot of noise. We don't make noise like they express, because there's that bar as well. So it's really hard to tell, and the door might be there, but there's always crowds and crowds in the mornings coming in and out.
Let's get to the heart of the matter. Let's talk about the unauthorized alterations.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Commissioner? About that door, the door that from the stairwell to the inside of your premise. That was deemed emergency exit only. So you've indicated that you started using that as your entrance to unlock your gate.
They
You just
had, they
indicate
don't
that-
do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore. But wasn't there also testimony that your staff uses it to go downstairs where we allowed you to get a warehouse permit?
In the lease, there's the basement.
Right.
For storage.
But you're using that to get to the storage as opposed to going, because that's still to us deemed an emergency exit. You're not to be using that by means to go downstairs to your
They
other
have a
food.
hatch now in the
Now they
front.
have a hatch?
Correct.
Can you guys
There's no
can you
door?
two sit down?
So you're not using that as back to being an emergency exit, not using it at all, it's not open, your staff is not going one back and forth?
Hatch, warehouse permit downstairs.
Okay.
We understood, like, we heard the tenants, their concerns, so we made an action to change.
All right, we would not have, just to give the members, would not have licensed it unless it was deemed an emergency exit.
I know that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And as for the hard liquor that was found on site from an initial investigation, as it was mentioned, there was vehement denial of that practice at the restaurant, and the reason it was so vehement and so aggressive and so emotional is because, as far as they were concerned, it was absolutely true. They came to find out after the fact that they had a bar manager who would keep a few bottles hidden that he would give people drinks when they weren't around. He's been canned years ago, and there have not been any issues with that ever since. You can take a look at their purchase orders from distributors to see the sort of products that they purchase. They are making fully wine and beer-based cocktails. There's absolutely no hard liquor in any of their things. They're fully aware of what their license allows them to do and what it doesn't. The application that's before everyone today is the alteration to basically bring the place into compliance, which is really moving the bar from the back to the front area and adding additional seating.
Well, talk to me about the doors. Why did they change the doors and put French doors in?
Microphone.
Originally, it was actually like that. When we got the space, we did change it. We did change it because we felt like the doors that we had recently in the summer, to save energy, just open a little bit of the windows, the French doors.
In the summer?
In the summer.
You don't have air conditioning?
We do have air conditioning.
So what
We
energy are you saving?
No, for central AC, sometimes it wasn't like, we didn't have it before, and now we do. But then we actually changed it. But we didn't know we had to let you know, because that's how it was originally. Originally, when we got the space, the doors would open. We changed it, and then we changed it back to what it was originally.
Oh, so
which
they're
was
not
open.
French doors now?
They're just like, so originally when we got like the space, Native Bean, they were like French doors. They were opened. It was a wide space, opened, and when we got the space, we did the construction, we changed the facade, and we changed it back to the original when we first got the space, because
The original, which was what?
which was like window, like open doors, open like facade.
Removable windows.
Yeah, like.
So what do you mean, when did you see that was the original? Was that the way it was when you got it from the
We
other
got it,
restaurant?
yes, exactly.
And when did you start deciding to have happy hours?
When did we started having that?
Or advertising them?
Advertising it like the second year. The
Why?
second year. Because
You can't tell me you didn't know that wasn't allowed, because they
We-
made
we
it clear to
actually-
you couldn't do it.
well, we actually went to them many times to ask them if we could, because
So they said no, and you did it anyway.
no, so we actually did. So happy hour is like a limited time. So we're just
Did they
actually
say
discount.
yes?
It's a discount completely. That's why it says every day, all day. So it's like a discount permanent.
Well, did they
there.
say yes to that when you went and asked them?
They didn't say that was wrong, the all day, every day, because.
So you
that's
made
actually-
happy hour all day, every day?
Yes, so that makes it a discount, a full discount. It doesn't make it a happy hour. Happy hour is from 5 to
No,
7.
see, here, this
until
is, and Mr. Levy, you've heard me say this 100 times in here. This is a classic example of why, when I decide to open a place and I warn them that looks like you have a business model that you think is going to work, and I'm telling you it's not, and then lo and behold, it doesn't, and it morphs into something else.
Yep, I completely understand that. And on the happy hour point, I mean, the community board process, they ask you if you're going to have happy hour or no. They don't tell you can't.
Yeah, but I'm not even in this business, and I sit here and can tell you this business isn't going to make enough money to cover itself. And then I let you open, and then you basically ignore not just us, but them. And then you make me look like an idiot. And I don't care about at the time, because you can't tell me that all this stuff that you did collectively, you weren't aware that you had to tell people you were doing it. The happy hours, when they told you no, and then you decide, you know what, we're not going to make it a happy hour, we're going to make it a happy 12 hours. Yeah, we're going to do the discount all day instead of doing it from 4 until 7. What's the difference?
It's like.
Can we take 2 minutes, because I'm contemplating, I don't even know what I'm going to ask you to do here.
We're back on the record after a conference with council.
Okay, go ahead. Anything else, or am I?
No, I mean, just to kind of put a bow on this, we appreciate that things have, at least seem to have changed. What has not changed is that this still is a family-owned restaurant, and a restaurant, more than anything else, 65% gross sales are food as opposed to 35% from wine and beer. They understand what the original stipulations were for the space, and they are abiding by them. I think you've seen in the materials, they got 3 letters of support from people who live in their actual building directly above the restaurant. There were 4 signatures in support from residents who live in the same exact building. So although you've heard from someone here present today who lives in the building who's not happy with them, you've got 3 letters and 4 signatures of support from the other people in the building who say they're good neighbors and they're responsible and they have no issues. They're doing their best to run their business.
It's the people that want to see it's a crime to leave sober versus the people with young kids that don't want to have to explain that.
Yeah, look, I'm not
to
going
their young children.
I'm not going to tell you that all of their decisions have been the best. At the end of the day, they're just trying to continue their business. They've been open for 4 years. Again, family business. They're trying to keep it going. As far as
what's the music situation?
It's recorded music, background music. And, as far as the alteration that was filed, that exists. If it isn't approved.
No, we understand.
And they have to demolish it, that they can't afford to do that, and they'll be out of business. So like I said, I can appreciate.
I think the question is whether we think that's what should be happening.
Yeah, I appreciate
Are you
that
actually
as well.
closing at midnight?
Yes.
They are?
Because they didn't call.
Whatever
right.
the case is, they are closing.
All right.
Sure. I just want to make sure he's done.
I'm done.
Okay. Then come on up. Not everybody, just she can speak for everybody.
First of all, I want to say, as far as the co-op board in that building, the board officially voted to ask to have the alterations denied. So that was the official of the board. The first alteration made the windows half open. The second alteration, after they were fined, and explained that you can't do an alteration, then there was a second to open the whole thing. It may have been that way at one time when they first came, but that was another, it totally changed the business presented to us. And
You mean it went from half open to fully open?
Yes.
After a fine?
No, the first fine was when they half opened it, and then they did it fully open. So it's French doors now. If you go by in the summer, the whole front is open.
But that doesn't make sense, because
there's old pictures in there that I've sent like last summer and the summer before. That's what happened. First, they took out the...
Is there an outdoor patio in the summer?
No. The front is totally open.
And there's no outdoor seating, it's just...
There's no outdoor seating.
Okay.
But one thing I would say is, we care very much about the stipulations. It is the way most businesses that come to us, we support whether we want them or not, we support them with stipulations. If somebody can come and, as a cost of business, pay a fine and then do something totally the opposite of what they presented, that does not leave the community board and businesses, an ability to even go to the community and say, we have stipulations, we are serving the community. I think that is honestly the biggest issue involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't want to waste your time, but do you mind if we just go through very, very simply what you think the stipulations are and what's been violated?
Can I have them right here?
They're written down.
I know,
Oh.
I just want to see, 80%, I mean, what is?
So when we did the administrative approval, they signed stipulations. It was all done by mail.
I don't know why I don't have that.
Well, it's in your resolution, so can you just go through the resolution and tell us which ones you think they violated? The one that's dated September 27, 2018?
I don't have that right in front of me.
Here, Susan, you
So there's a couple. They violated the happy hour. That was very clear.
I think we covered that.
The other issue was were not the stipulations. The other issue was the alterations. This was presented to us as a small food-based business with a hallway and a bar in the back.
So let me do this. Let me go through them one at a time, and you tell me if you think they violated them.
Okay.
Operate as a full-service restaurant. I think
That's-
you've said they violated that.
No,
Oh, you
no,
don't?
we did
Okay.
not say that.
Have hours of operation 7 to 12 a.m. all days.
Well, we no longer, we wanted 7 when they came to us and said 7 a.m., we said, great, because we want street
Have they
traffic.
been open past 12?
Not
Okay.
since they've been caught, but they
Not
also,
commercially use any outdoor space.
they do not use outdoor space.
Install soundproofing.
I have no idea if they did that.
Close any facade doors but not, and windows at 10 p.m. every night.
They are now doing that.
No amplified performances, including DJs, live music, live non-musical
I
performances.
don't believe they're violating that.
Play background music only.
I believe they're doing, that's fine.
Not apply for they violated that.
They violated that.
8,
Wait,
not,
sorry, what?
not apply for an alteration without first appearing before the community board.
Number 7.
Not seek a change in class from liquor license, they have not done that. 9, not host pub crawls or party buses.
They did one pub crawl.
Not have happy hours, we covered that. Not have wait lines outside.
They do not have wait lines outside.
Conspicuously post stipulations beside license.
I have no idea if they're doing that.
Provide contact info for resident complaints.
No,
Did you
they're
say
saying- They're saying no.
No?
They
Okay.
do or they don't have weight lines?
They don't, she said.
Do not, okay.
Yeah, so the biggest concern were the 2 alterations that changed the nature of the business.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just one final note, and I'll promise that'll be it from me. As you can see, stipulation number 5 about closing the facade, open, close, half open, whatever. It's always been abiding by that, and that's what they're doing at this point. So.
Okay. Who's running this place? Oh, no, is your husband there, you there, or is it just your daughter?
Me, all the time, because I'm the chef.
You're the chef?
Yes.
And what, you run the front of the house?
Yes.
And she's your daughter, right? Okay.
We ready to vote?
Yep.
Commissioner Fan?
I understand the community's objection to this application very much so. However, they're applying to, so to speak, legalize a violation that we've gone down the road with them for 2-3 years now. I don't necessarily see how denying this application is going to mend the differences here. I think that the applicant, or not applicant, the licensee rather, really need to figure out how to make good with your neighbors and re-earn their trust, because there's obviously a breach here. And having said that, I think I'm going to vote to approve. I hate to say this, but I just think that asking them to rip out this bar is basically closing them, and I'm not ready to do that today because of the number or lack thereof, the actual stipulations are not actually being violated at this current moment. I realize that it's been a lot of work for you guys in the community to try to get them to adhere to something that you thought you had, you know, at the start point, and so it's a little unfair to have you do the work, to chase after them, to comply with the law. But I think as of today, I'm going to approve this alteration. But, you know, you are on notice.
Commissioner Ford?
You know, and just to add to what Commissioner Fan has said, you shouldn't get to break the rules and get rewarded for it. But to her point, I think ripping things out would probably put you out of business, and not here to do that either necessarily. I am going to require one stipulation, though, to get my approval, and that's the bar can stay where it is, even though you didn't ask for it like you should have. But the doors on the front, they're going to remain closed all times. That's the only way I'm going to approve this, and that's my nod to the community board for that other alteration that wasn't done without approval. So I will approve the alteration as under the stipulation that the doors remain closed at all times.
I would have ripped it out. But in order to put even more limits on what you can do, because I can't tell you, beyond, you didn't just ruin the trust with them, I don't trust you either. So what we're going to do here is, I see you love to have drink specials. There's not going to be any drink specials, period. No all-you-can-drink brunches, no open bars, no discounts on anything. You come back in a year, and perhaps we'll talk about eliminating that if you don't violate the law again, which I have no faith will occur. And I'm also agreeing with Commissioner Ford that the front doors remain closed at all times. She's watching you as well as the community board, so I guarantee you we will hear immediately if this isn't followed, and the next morning our investigators will be out there. Because I realize that this would have closed your place, and there's part of me that thinks that should have happened. The only thing that really saved you was Commissioner Fan's vote, and Commissioner Ford's vote.
Commissioner Ford, are you good with the second condition?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And Commissioner Fan, you're good? All right.
And that also, that exit inside the building, that is emergency exit only, just to be clear.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in the building other than through that into the
Correct.
basement.
That's why they built out the hatch. Yeah. That's why they changed the gate.
And the sandwich boards out front, get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I just.
Well, that's going to end.
Yep.
There should be an alarm on it. If that door opens, an alarm should go off. That's all that is for, is to exit in case there's a fire.
And I'm just going to add on top of that, it's not just a question of the stipulations that were just put on your license. This authority has an incredible amount of discretion under 117A, which I'm sure Mr. Levy is going to describe to you in incredible detail. And I have absolutely no problem bringing charges under 117A based on what I've heard today going forward.
Thank you.
And I would try to go outside and really have a conversation, because, he lives upstairs with you guys, and he's the board. So you really want to get him on board and talk to him about what doors he wants used. I mean, those are minor fixes that doesn't need to be escalated to this level.
Yeah, and I don't think he's trying to put you out of business either. He's just trying to get your freaking attention.
Well, no, he was today. And Mr. Levy's going to tell you this. Yeah. You pretty much can't change the color of your walls without talking to us. I mean, anything you want to do with this, you need to go to them and then to us. That's the way this works. I didn't set it up that way, but that's the way it is set up. And he'll explain that to you, I'm sure.
You guys are doing my job for me here.
Yeah. The next item is 326, 221 Mamma Mia Enterprises, Inc.
So needless to say,
Hey,
if I do
Jonathan.
get any other applications.
I thought you were saving that, sir.
It's 326, that's Mr. DeLuca's other item. 326.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr.
My name is Pat
DeLuca.
DeLuca. I'm here for Ms. Castillo. She's the new owner of the premise located at 221 Fulton Avenue in Hempstead. It's my understanding that the prior license at this place was revoked because the principal of that place had his license revoked somewhere else.
That's not the only reason.
No.
It isn't? Okay.
And not only that, there was a 2-year prescription put on it that was taken off, I think by us, right? Was I here for that?
Landlord probably came in.
On a reconsideration, and the only reason it was taken off was because the landlord made a plea that it would bankrupt him, but I don't see that this is the type of place I envisioned going in here.
It's a restaurant.
With security.
Well.
Why do you need security at a restaurant?
In Hempstead, security is not a bad idea.
Well,
we had asked
maybe that's why we revoked it.
for a FOIL last week and to find out the exact nature of why the previous license was revoked, and we didn't get that. I apologize for being wrong about that. Ms. Castillo had owned another premise previously. We sent you the.
How'd she hear about this place?
She lives in Hempstead.
We used to go to the restaurant to eat before.
I'm sorry?
We used to go to the restaurant.
Oh, you used to go to the restaurant?
Yes.
Oh, I see. I mean, it's hard to say that you're not going to run it the same way since basically you're using their name. To the general public, basically the same restaurant is reopening.
Yeah, we're using the name because it knows, a lot of people knows the restaurant.
A lot of people know it for a lot of other
For the
reasons.
wrong reasons.
Well, this is on the corner of Fulton and Franklin, just about 100 feet to the west, and it's the heart of the village of.
But she's asking you about the name. That's not even, that doesn't explain why you would use the same name when not only did we didn't cancel the license, we actually revoked it, which is kind of a big deal. Yet you want to attract the same people that were coming to that one?
No, I'm gonna have I used to have a restaurant, so a lot of people is asking when we wanna open another one, so I have a lot of customers.
Is your other one called Miranda River Cafe?
No, I used to call Sin Fronteras.
Are you having the same menu?
No, actually, I'm gonna have Italian food and Central American food.
Whose menu is in here? Is that your menu that we have?
When we
What
met,
do you have?
we have the old
The
menu
old
from there,
menu?
and you just, it was before you changed your mind.
Okay.
You have the old menu from the old restaurant.
And then.
So the only thing that's changing is her. She's the only one, and she actually was there before because she was a customer.
Yeah.
Did you know the owners?
When we used to go there, yes.
Where are they now?
No idea.
When we met, they were gonna stay originally with the Latin American menu, and I gather from this that they're changing that.
What are the hours?
From Monday to Thursday, from 11 to 2. And the weekends, from 11 to 3 or 4.
Why does a restaurant need to be open till 4?
Or have karaoke.
Well, we have, we serving a lot of Uber, so the people is like, they order food.
Do we have, you don't have the lease handy on this, do you?
I have it.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
So there's nothing in here giving him the ability to evict based on violations of the alcohol law?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, so I'm not, I have no further questions.
We ready to vote then?
Yes.
Commissioner Fan?
With no experience and silent collusion, it seems to be very unclear the difference between this establishment and the prior one. For now, I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny as well. There's a long history previously in this place that we revoked it. I wanted to do a 2-year prescription on the building for another liquor license. The landlord requested on reconsideration that we not do that and said that he would protect his rights as the landlord by putting clauses in the lease that would allow him to evict the tenant should they violate the liquor law. I just reviewed the lease. There doesn't appear to be anything in there. She went so far as to use the same menu as the former place as well as the same name. So I'm actually denying this for cause.
We were able to
Mr.
get.
DeLuca? They voted.
You can reapply. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a brief recess now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We're back from the recess. The next item, we're still in New York. The next item is 352, 27 West Chelsea, Inc.
Francis Buscemi for the licensee. This is a CNC offer of $1,500 with, I believe, withdrawal of charges 1 and 2.
1 and 2, just one.
There's just one.
Right? What was the other
One?
charge?
See one.
Just one.
Withdrawal 1 and 2.
So let me ask you, who owns this place?
I'm sitting in for Mr. Mailer on this, I'm sorry.
The pleading got amended, so there was a charge to, but now there isn't.
Oh, okay, so that's,
Because this is a name that strikes fear into us. They seem to be going down a different road. Well, it's Il Bastardo. I don't think I need to tell you. You've heard of it too.
the only thing I can say, I would assume that Mr. Mailer discussed this.
He did.
Or for
Nobody
compromise.
They didn't discuss it with us, and
No,
now
of course, I get that.
we're hearing that potentially the people that were involved in the former Il Bastardo are involved in this one.
We're talking about one charge of employment of a security guard.
That's where it all starts, so.
Counselor, is there anything else pending here, or?
I have no notices of pleading pending at the moment.
Are they only open, Jackie, are they only open 2 days a week? Where is Mr. Mailer? He was in line this morning. What?
He was in line and he left me here. Lucky
Il
me.
Bastardo was on
I
the
could have been
agenda.
out of here. I could have been out of here an hour and a half ago, but here I am.
If I heard him do the same thing.
Board Stips, hours are 12 to 12, Sunday through Wednesday, 12 to Thursday through Saturday.
So,
And then no more, and then stipulations on performers.
I'm going to accept this, but I'm going to remind you to remind him to remind them that they're supposed to be open Sunday through Wednesday, then Thursday through Saturday, because the word we're getting is they're only open for brunch. And that they better be following the stipulations, because the lease
I
here
didn't
is
hear the
going to be
exact
very
hours, but I'll
short.
mention, it's in the stipulation, they should be following their hours, stipulated hours. That's what you get.
Along with the law.
Well,
We all good with that?
Sure.
All good.
Next item is 374 Quixote Tapas Bar, Inc.
I accept.
I accept.
I accept.
thank you, have a good day.
Next item is 319 Black Tap LES LLC.
Joseph Levy here for the licensee.
You got all the best applications today.
Happy to report that my fan club is gone. They will not
Surprisingly,
be
too.
weighing in on this one. Well, hopefully that's telling. Black Tap LES, I have with me Chris Barish, one of the principals here, as well as head of operations of their.
Yeah.
This is 3. Okay. Yep, same community board. Location is 177 Ludlow Street. They have a beer and wine license. They've been in operation for about 18 months now. Black Tap is sort of international as a brand. They have locations. They have 4 or 5 here in New York City, and that number is growing. They're in other parts of the country. They are in other countries as well. It's sort of...
Because they left, that's very telling. And because there's a snowstorm coming, I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you.
I don't
Commissioner Ford? It's not snowing that hard.
I think it picked up.
Well, what, so before he votes, what's the,
So no change in method of operation here.
no, I get that, but they clearly had a problem with this. I get that, and as Commissioner Fan pointed out, they were here exactly the previous case, so they easily could
Correct.
have stayed here to argue against this, and they
And it
chose not
wasn't-
to.
It wasn't necessarily them that had the issue previously, it was the local block association that had the issue because they were concerned with the kind of crowd that these gentlemen draw to their places. They thought the street was going to be even more of a nightmare than it already is. Clearly, that wasn't an issue. We've managed that very well. I think people are just scared when a new food and beverage business comes onto this block specifically. So there was opposition. So the opposition that was here last time, and the reason the community board disapproved this last time, they're not here today, which, like Commissioner Fan said, is super
No,
telling
but
to me.
they disapproved this change, too.
The community board
in
did.
writing.
Correct. But, the block association's not here. They didn't send you anything.
Okay.
The big position previously was that they didn't really have experience operating a full license anywhere, and since that time, they now have two, and got a couple more in the hopper.
Not on Ludlow, I hope.
No.
In citing the community board's opinion, resolution acknowledges that applicant operates other black tap establishments in the city with on-premises license and refers to this consistency of brand. And also says the resolution acknowledges the applicant's rationale that an on-premise license would enhance customer choice of beverages. So, anyway, I don't have a problem with this at all. I'm gonna vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley?
Was the whole point to get the RW to prove yourself? Is that what the reason was for the RW?
Oh, I mean, so they have the original location in the West Village, had a beer and wine, and still does. They opened the downstairs, which is more of an expanded concept, which the community board originally denied for an OP. At the full board meeting, you granted us the beer and wine. We actually went back later, and they approved the OP because we've proven ourselves as good operators. And they thought beer and wine would work here. We talked to the Block Association initially. We asked for full liquor. They said total non-starter. We said, cool, I think beer and wine's going to work. It's not working.
Oh, so there wasn't the intent to go, okay. All right, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll approve, just to be consistent.
Just say yes.
Yes, everything stays the same.
Thank you very much. Get home safe.
Thank you, too.
Next item is 396, Carlos Pub, Inc.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, I brought this to request.
Can you just note your name for the record?
I'm sorry,
please?
Howard Schwartz, for the licensee.
Yeah, we're going to send this back. This is for reconsideration. I don't think anybody has a problem with it going back to council's office based on your representations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Next item is 330, Cork and Cap, Inc.
Neil Trivedi for the applicant, Cork and Cap Inc. at 372 Mooney Pond Road in Farmingdale.
Mr. Trey, there's one applicant, so who's,
Oh, he's the applicant, he's the wife, husband and wife.
And who's the third gentleman?
That's my father.
Oh, okay. Can you, well, you can all stand there, I don't care.
Is there any opposition? You have the
Did get-
floor.
We did get 3 letters, but from the 3 of the 4 closest. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, it's a husband-wife that plans to open up a location, which is on 372 Mooney Pond Road. There are 2 stores that are on the north end of it on Middle Country Road, which is not, the closest store is anywhere between 1.5 to 3 miles. Those 2 stores are on Middle Country Road. One is in a shopping center of Home Depot, which is very difficult, and a shopping center that has to really go into the shopping center. It's not an easy access in and out. The other location is a standalone building, which is on 359 Independence, I'm sorry, not Independence Plaza, but 733 Middle Country Road, which is also 1.3, 1.4 miles away. And it's also, there is no parking there. It's on the rear end of the parking. My applicant, my client intends to open up a location which is 1,600 square feet retail space. 1,200 is the retail space, 400 is a storage. There is parking of 14 car parking. It's a newer building.
There is a 7-Eleven, pizzeria, nail salon, convenience store. So it's basically a small commercial retail space in the middle of all the residential neighborhood. It's a newly updated building, new construction, so my client intends to have a more inviting, more family, younger crowd.
What else is in this shopping?
There are only 3 stores, and they're taking the 2 stores out of
What's in the other one?
They haven't, the landlord just got the permit to start the construction, so he hasn't rented it out. Ideally, something like a, laundromat or something like that would be perfect. My client intends to have new technology with tablets and interactive features that would interact with customers. Compared to other stores, they tend to make it more visible, more inviting, newer type of construction. Also, it's closer to Suffolk County Community College. There's also new construction with Empire State Building, which is part of SUNY that's being constructed. Obviously, faculty, students that are over age of 21 would be able to have access to this location. Basically, this location is within the borderline of Farmingville and Selden, which is well-to-do area. The medium income for a household is about $100,000, 80% white, and 80% actually own homes. The job market in the last year has increased 1.9, and the future growth is about 39%. Specifically, with the other 2 locations that are on 711 Horse Block Road, 397 Horse Block Road, and 2340 North Ocean Avenue in Farmingville. These are 3 Farmingville located liquor stores. They're pretty much within 1.5 miles of each other on the same road. And my client's store will not affect any of those 3 stores because it kind of cuts through taking the LIE, taking 97 North, which is Old Nichols Road, and then it actually crosses going towards Mooney Pond Road into Route 112. So it will not touch Middle Country Road, nor will it ever touch Horse Block Road as well. But the 3 stores, if you look at it, they're within 1.5 miles of each other, so pretty much they're competing with each other. 711 Horse Block Road, their numbers have been consistent, 174, 151, 195, 179. In the first half of 2018, the sales have been noted at 85,000 sales. So it's the second half of the season of 2018. I'm sure they've done well, and they're well over the 179,000 for 2017. With regard to 397 Horse Block Road.
We have all those numbers.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
need you to go through them.
Sure.
What does he do now?
He
For a
works,
job?
I work at a printing company,
that's his family-owned printing company?
formerly.
That's Sterling North America is,
Yes, sir.
and you're going to not work there anymore? Or?
I will probably continue to work there, at least partly until we can support our family strictly with the liquor store.
So who's going to run the liquor store?
It'll be I'll be there before, after weekends, and then primarily, aside from that, will be my father and my wife.
And your parents don't own a liquor store?
No. My father will be helping us. He's basically retired from the printing business.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
You ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Commissioner Fan.
I take it at council's word that it's accurate that to get to the other stores, the driving distance may be longer than what is listed on our paperwork. Is that right? Driving distance is longer than the actual listed distance.
What do we have listed, the distance or?
You list driving distance. Okay.
I Google mapped it.
No, I understand. only because you live 4 minutes away from this location.
Yeah,
I
that's.
feel like you're giving back to your own community, so I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
The store that we disapproved before was up on Route, is it Route 25? And that was the one that I thought was closest to the other store, Suffolk Liquors. So I thought, well, anyway, I denied it. But I look at where this store is located, and I think you're really on a whole different corridor. So I think even though the other stores' sales seem to be flat, some up and down, I still think there could be a public convenience and advantage to be met, so I vote to approve as well.
I'm voting to deny. Good luck.
Thank you.
Just for an update, the applicants are in Albany, but we're still trying to find out what happened to the interpreter, who's not in Buffalo yet, so that's still on hold.
Okay.
Next item here in New York is 329 Ladies Sports Bar, Inc.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Council. My name is John Angrisani. I am here for the applicant. Next to me is Mr. Angel Valencia, the sole principal.
Who's Jose Rios?
That's my partner.
Okay.
I believe that the reason for this hearing is because there were 3 prior license applications for this location that were disapproved. My client has no relation to any of the prior applicants.
Does he know them?
No, he did not know them. He came upon this store, I think, through the landlord, who was anxious of having an applicant that would actually get approved. He has a license. He currently owns a license. He has a beer and wine license at a restaurant. He has a successful business. The landlord came to him, asked him if he'd be interested. He saw the opportunity possibly to do something that would be a little bit maybe more profitable. He's 69 years old. In the current restaurant that he has, I don't think there's any adverse history or any negative issues whatsoever. He does have a full kitchen. He's going to have a chef on the premises. No DJs, no promoters, no dancing, no live music. There's no opposition from the community board.
What's the hours?
He has 10 to 4 a.m. That's subject to, obviously, approval from you commissioners.
This was disapproved twice before for belief that it would be more of a bar than a restaurant. So it looks like this time he's actually applying for it as a bar, correct?
Correct.
And is he no DJs?
No DJs, that's
promoters?
No promoters, that's within his application. If you'll notice.
I read it, I saw it, I'm just making sure he says it or that you say it on the record. And who's gonna run it?
Well, he currently has a restaurant. If you see what he says in the application, basically he's either going to hire a manager for the restaurant or sell it if this application is approved. He told me
So if this is approved, he's gonna sell the other place?
Well, yes. He told me yesterday that he's actually considering a contract to sell the other place subject to approval of this license, wherein he will come here and invest more money into this premise, and he'll run this premise 100%.
How long has he owned the other place?
I think 2 years.
And prior to that, what did he do?
He was a manager, I believe, at another restaurant, correct?
The other place is a bar or a restaurant?
It's a restaurant. It's a bar wine license, the one that he currently has.
And you don't want security here?
Here, he's not going to have any security, I believe.
But you do want jukebox and karaoke music, correct?
Really? You want 4 a.m. but no security?
As I said, that's subject to, he wanted to put in the longest hours available, but obviously if this commission doesn't approve it, it will be subject to whatever.
I know, I just don't want you to get in trouble on the other side when you realize you need security.
Well,
because you're talking about 10 employees. It's a pretty big space, right?
Yes.
So do you need a security guard or no?
Maybe on weekends?
Maybe we need.
In weekends? Possibly on the weekends.
Okay. No, it's better than now than to 2 years later than, it's.
I've explained that to him. Any change that he has to make, he's going to have to get approval from the board.
So this was all built out already before anyone got a license?
Correct.
It's never been licensed before?
I don't believe it's ever been licensed.
And it's so everything's brand new in there?
No, everything, he's basically, this is his conversation with me is as follows. He is not sure that this license will be approved because there's been prior disapprovals. The landlord has abated the rent in the hopes that he will be approved. So he invested certain money into the premises, basically to get it.
No, I get that, but did anybody prior to him, did any of the other three applicants do any construction before that?
I don't believe so. I think it had been a bar at some time, but this is how he found it.
It's never been licensed by us.
This is the way he found it.
Okay.
How much
Right,
money did he invest in it?
Jackie, we don't have a license here, do we? Ever?
Huh?
I don't think he heard you.
No.
10,000?
With the lawyer.
Well, he's paid me additionally, so.
So he paid you 20? Because he's saying, here it says he invested 30,000.
No, he's
I'm in
invested
the wrong
about
business if
10,000.
you're getting 20,000 for this.
I'm sorry.
You still have your law degree, don't you?
He invested money into the premise. He did invest with the lease and the security, and he's paid for the application fee. He's paid for these attorney fees to establish the corporation. So I think that the investment has been over 30,000. If you will see his bank statement submitted, I think also shows that he does have the funds.
And he knows none of the other applicants.
Correct.
All right.
All right.
You ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Fan,
With no promoters, no live music, no dancing, 1 to 2 security guards on the weekends as needed, and no protests, and a clean restaurant wine license that's out there, I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
Same stipulations. I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
A vote to approve with the stipulations by Commissioner
I didn't say hours.
Fan. No, they can have 4. Yeah, they can have 4.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Have a nice day.
Yeah, take care. Good luck.
The next item is 339 Split Eights LLC.
Another good one. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Elke Hoffman. I represent the applicant. With me is Michael Klein and Jessica Che. They are the owners, operators, principals of Split Eights LLC. And essentially, this matter is here over just the disagreement about hours of operation for a location, a pretty small bar.
Is that the only stipulations that you have in a,
That was they were actually happy with the idea of a bar down there. You can see from the pictures, this is not a heavily residential block. This is in the heart of the financial district. And, that community board has been a little bit haphazard about whether or not it imposes its actual policy. We happen to be there at a meeting when.
Well, I mean, we don't, and I've said this to the community boards, I don't endorse any cross-the-board policy on hours because we don't have one here. That being said, I didn't think they were being unreasonable because they said that they were willing to revisit after a year.
Now, I mean, that.
Was it even a year or 6 months?
It's 5 months or something like that?
5 months, so I don't know, but that's just my take, but go
Well, I
ahead.
mean, in this case, even that same community board hasn't sort of policed itself and enforced that policy frequently. So there have been bars within that same period of time, even a couple months before and a couple months after these applicants went there, where they have approved 2 a.m. For other bars in that area. And most of the other sort of bars in that area have either no restrictions or open until 2 a.m. as well.
so is that what you're looking for,
And
just till
these-
2?
Yeah, just till 2 across the board. They've reached out to the residents. They had collected, over 100 signatures in support of the bar, listing the hours clearly on the petitions. There was nobody that showed up at the community board meeting in opposition.
7 days a week till 2?
I mean, this has a 45, seats approximately 45 patrons, open for coffee in the mornings. You know, Michael has, you can see from the submission, he's experienced in operating exactly this type of higher-end cocktail venue. And Jessica is a sort of an expert on artisanal coffee. I think this is sort of an ideal area for something like this. If you look at the picture, it's a sliver of a place next to a big, you know, office building entrance.
I don't think there's any information I need going.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
Oops, sorry.
Only because it's really quite a commercial block. I'm gonna go with 2 a.m. If it's a bar, any earlier would not really make sense.
Commissioner
So I vote to approve.
2 a.m. across the board approved.
Chairman Bradley?
And I would have gone with the community board, but good luck.
Next item is 327, Italia International LLC.
327?
327.
Good afternoon. Andrea Catalina for the applicant, the principal for...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
4 very reasonable people.
Go ahead.
We're here on an application for full liquor license for a premises. It's an Italian restaurant in Croton-on-Hudson, New York, Italia International LLC. This is the principal and applicant, Michelina Dahlia. We have submitted the application and several follow-ups with, after the board got back to us. We believe that the board has some additional questions for us. So that's why.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason it's here is because she had a license that we revoked in 2008. So there are obviously some concerns. That was a grocery store beer license, I realize, but a liquor license nonetheless.
She advises me, Mr. Chairman, that that was a deli that she owned and operated with her husband. And she, I believe what happened is that they just sort of, for lack of a better term, abandoned that deli and the license in it. If it was revoked, she was not, I don't believe she was aware of that. I don't know that there were any disciplinary proceedings in connection to that revocation.
No, there were.
There were?
Yes.
Okay, so she...
There was a proceeding, there was a not guilty plea, and then there was a default at the hearing.
Okay. She doesn't have much recollection with respect to the details surrounding that revocation. So that's why no clear details were provided.
Who handled that, her husband?
I believe it was mostly her husband and then your son, correct? No, my brother. Her brother. Her brother then became involved, primarily taking over the business aspect of the deli. She sort of had left
Well, I
the
think
deli.
what happened, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, the way I'm reading this, is that they sold the deli, and the person they sold it to never got a license?
Somebody took over the business and got all the other permits in his name. Mr. Vivencio?
That's her brother.
Okay, well, he took over the business, put everything else in his name, except for the liquor license.
And then kept selling liquor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the issue.
So it was an availing, so we yanked your former liquor license as a result of that. So you guys were probably long gone by then.
Correct. Long gone by then, really had no knowledge of that. Probably should have taken the license with her, but did not, and therefore, was not involved in those disciplinary proceedings.
Is this place open now?
It is.
And how long?
It's been open, I believe, just about 4 years.
And why now to get the liquor license?
There was a prior liquor license that was either expired or was surrendered by one of the partners, and there was no way that the prior owner could get another liquor license, so it was sold to Ms. Dahlia.
So she's been an owner of this place for 4 years, or?
No. Just recent, as of, I believe, August of 2018.
Oh, so the liquor license expired, she bought the place after that, and has been in it ever since?
Correct, yes. She has experience,
Yeah, no, I see that.
yeah.
Her attorney was Mr. Parisi. Just saying.
We'll tell you
Your
later.
prior attorney? Okay. I don't know who that is.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Yeah, if you read the paper, you
Go
may.
Google it.
Okay. Okay.
All right, well, in honor of that, so we don't have any, they don't have, the prior owners didn't have any history, right?
The prior owner, I do
The
not
one who was
believe-
previously licensed.
No, it was a beer and wine, and I believe it was surrendered.
And what are the hours?
Fire. It's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. across the board.
And is she running the place?
Yes,
With who? Just by herself? or-
by herself. There's about 6 other employees.
What's the music situation?
No music, just light background music.
Light.
Very, yeah. It's not a not a loud club of any sort. It's just a small Italian family-run restaurant. That's all.
I'll vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to approve.
As will I.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a nice day.
Next item is 357, Tadia Corp.
That case is over, by the way. You see that? Did you see that, Tom? The case is over?
I didn't see the sentence
Well,
proposed.
it's,
Return to council's office.
yes.
Good morning, my name is Sandra Laya, here from
So this is a request for recon. I think we all agree it should go back to council's office. Yep. Granted. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony.
The next item, 333, Honor Wines LLC.
How are we doing with that interpreter?
I'm still waiting for an email from my staff to see if they've heard from the company to find out, to try and track her down.
Gosh.
Go ahead. Yeah, oh, okay. So everybody stays the same.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me today. Neil Visaki, counsel for the applicants who are actually looking to petition for removal of a wine store.
Can we just stop you there? I think we have some objectors.
Good afternoon. Stephanie Hendricks on behalf of Stapleton Liquor Mart, Inc., DBA Homeport Liquors and Fine Wines. This with me is Mr. Tom Ventrone, the manager and spouse of the owner of that business, Mrs. Mary Ventrone. We're objecting to this removal application primarily on proximity. Put simply, this is very much a tiny, low-rise driving community. Let me repeat, a tiny, low-rise driving community. There are 4,291 people in Stapleton, Staten Island, where this is located. There are 4 liquor stores within 1 mile of my client's premises already. This would be a 5th.
No. Would it? This store already exists.
It already exists, making it 5 liquor stores within 1 mile of my client's premises. That's
So-
correct, except there's 1 liquor store already located within, just over 500 feet away from
So
my
let me just, so you're saying there's 4 within 1 mile. Am I correct in saying that there's 5 within 1.2 miles?
Well, Honor Wines stopped doing business at the location it was located at. And actually, there's about 7 within 1.2 miles. And again, this is.
But we're not adding a store is the point I'm making.
Well, you're adding a store very close to the proximity of my client's store.
But the way we look at it is the 4 closest stores, and Jackie, is this still going to be, are all the 4 closest stores remaining the same here?
I believe so.
No, two of them are.
Yeah, Honor Wines was located in a different town. So let me just provide some information here first. Let's back up. The current location, Homeport Fine Wines and Liquors, this is a store that was purchased with the life savings of the owner, which is Mary Ventrone. This is her husband. He's the manager. They invested $1 million into this premises, did an entire gut reno. They specialize in wine. They do wine classes, wine tastings, all of those things. Basically, they put their life savings in this, which was an improvement from sandy damage that really never was properly addressed by the prior owner. And so my client came in, purchased the property, did a full gut reno with a complete commitment to improving the neighborhood. In reliance, actually, on the New York Wheel, the Staten Island Wheel, which was intending to come in just down the street. So the idea was we're going to have all this economic opportunity coming in. The owner's husband, the manager, Mr. Ventrone, has deep family roots in the area and decided to put his life savings into investing in the area to bring it back. In terms of sales, the 2017 sales under the prior owner, which was a very dilapidated, location, their sales were $1.3 million in 2017. My client took over in December 2017, and his sales for 2018 were $1.3 million. There simply is not the capacity for another wine store just down the street. And the location that they're proposing is visible from my client's store. And I'm not sure if it's visible from where they stand, but it's visible from where my client stands. Some other details, my client.
So your Homeport Liquors, they're even, so if they're visible, you're 0.6 miles away?
No, 0.3. Just over 1,000 feet is the proposal.
Oh, then we have a typo. Okay.
Yes, and so some additional information, Homeport hires all local workers who live directly in the area, literally.
So you're focusing on, what we're focusing on and what legally we're required to focus on is public convenience and advantage. So you need to focus on that. I get that he's a great owner and community activist and all of that, but that really doesn't help us at all.
Okay, great. So with
I go with that assumption that he's a good businessman.
My client's store is large enough to service the area that includes the proposed new location of Honor Wines. There is no need whatsoever for a new wine store within 1,000 feet of my client's store, which, by the way, has a very large. Basically, 70% of his stock is wine. He hires and brings in wine experts to do wine tastings. His whole business is primarily about wine with a liquor supplemental. And so basically, the advantage to the community is a large selection in the same exact general area, same exact area. As the proposed new location of Honor Wines. My client has no objection to Honor Wines, wishes them well, all of that, just not there.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So, go ahead. Jackie, so the 4 closest, 2 of the 4 did change.
Oh, yeah, you can say that. 2 of the 4, the same 2.
And which 2 are the new ones? So this was.
I think R&D was what we added in.
Okay, go ahead.
Is a new one, though.
May I start?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so again, thanks for having me. So it's interesting that I'm here today because just a little history, it has some meaning I would imagine. Back in 2012, when I was up here, I was representing Shaolin Liquors at 212 Bay Street. At the same time, at that meeting, my present clients were up there the same exact specialty wine store, which was, I think, maybe 1,000 or so feet, very, very close to my client's store. And what happened was there was intense opposition. Charlie Lynn was there. Ultimately, Shaolin Liquors wound up getting the license. And then the chairman at the time, the other commissioners had asked if we had any opposition, because we were there the same day, but we filed first. And, we took a step back and, everybody kind of welcomed them. We said, look, even though we're a new wine and liquor store, you seem to be a small specialty store. You seem to be offering the community something that's not there, and, good luck to your business. And here I am here today representing them. So let me just first start by saying that.
I thought you were the only liquor lawyer on Staten Island. That was why I thought you were here.
Okay, just a little history. So my clients got their license naturally back in late 2012, and they just gave up their lease. Unfortunately, they were forced out the last several months of 2018. So they were looking feverishly in the area to kind of get a new spot where they could service, their clientele base. And by the way, what's of major importance as I stand here today, and then what I sent up just last Friday, and I think we already sent up a petition, it's, they've been doing, up until 18, they've been doing like a consistent $250,000. This is not a gold mine, this is a small specialty shop that has a clientele and they work with very closely, and I'm gonna go on and talk about what, what.
So you say they lost their lease. Why'd they lose their lease?
The landlord sold the building? Landlord sold the building.
And they don't want to rent the building out, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, if you can.
So, hi, I'm Loriana. There's intense development in the neighborhood, and a outside investor came, bought our property. That was our landlord's property, and our lease had expired. We contested it.
Oh, so they're going to redevelop the whole thing?
They're going to redevelop the whole entire
Okay.
community.
All right,
so, yeah.
go ahead.
So in that 6 years, naturally, Mr. Arna was there full-time. Mrs. Arna works as a teacher, and she's there also on her days off and stuff. They have a very close relationship with all the people. They have about a 1,400-person mailing list, and again, what I sent in last Friday, the petition for them to basically be approved is, at this point, it should be well over 1,000. So we're not looking to really necessarily, make new, get new clients. We want to service all of the old clients that we did to start with. Just a little bit about the store. So the store, the last store had 450 square feet. Unfortunately, they couldn't find anything bigger, so they'd like to take a store that basically is 805 square feet. However, the sales space is about 100 feet smaller, 347 square feet of sales. And I put that, again, in what I sent up on Friday. It's maybe 4 pages from the back. When I went there and I looked in, I just saw such a small space that I couldn't imagine that, a small place like this could really be competition to like a much larger liquor store. Oh, by the way, so let me just mention, Stapleton Liquor Mart, although these people came in and they did an awesome job because I drove by, it's a really beautiful store. According to the way I saw it, it looked more like 50%, spirits and 50% wine. They did an awesome job over there. It's beautiful. But, they have the luxury of, I think that spot has been licensed since 2001. So they have what I believe to be an awesome, massive clientele base for the last 18 years. I'm pretty sure we look back on the Liquor Authority's website and we saw licenses there continuously from 2001. So they're not really going in as a new owner. They took it over. I guess they put all the money into it. They fixed it up. Beautiful spot. And it's, the people who, the store who should really be concerned is the other place that I got licensed several years ago, Heaven Wine and Liquor at 694 Bay Street. Because if you look at their gross sales, sadly for them, it looks like $90,000 they lost in 2018. The other stores, I mean, nobody else seems to have a problem. I'm up here today with only this one gentleman, opposing. So Shaolin Liquors, again, they didn't call me about having problems. They got notice. R&D Liquor Store, that's way up on Victory Boulevard, 0.6 miles. I went in there. It's a beautiful little small newest store. Totally, away. It's got that whole Victory Boulevard corridor, and they sell liquor and wine. Broad Spirits and Wines, I actually had the nerve to get out of my car, go in the place. It's bulletproof, and all their sales seem to be very, very steady. And again, Heaven Wines, looks like they went down $90,000. And Homeport, the store that they're talking about, at this point, 1 year into it, it looks like they have 1.3 million, just the way they left off when they bought the place. And I see that place, taking off, doing awesome. So, my clients, like I said, they're no employees, no manager, no internet sales. It's going to be a small, quaint store. They already have their 1,000 people, 1,400 or so people on their petitions. I mean, everybody's looking really forward for them to going in there. I just want to tell a little, I sent in what they kind of focus on. The focus of their shop is 100% non-commercial wines. Their entire inventory is either organic, biodynamic, sustainable, small batch, that's family-run with a focus on highlighting women winemakers, growers, and producers. And from, again, what I've looked on the internet, I think it's the only place in Staten Island who focuses on organic, natural, small batch wines. Again, what's happening down there, I know the other, I don't know if she's the attorney or not, that whole area, that Bay Street corridor, probably a length of about 2 miles from basically where her store is on Bay Street, even going towards the Verrazano Bridge, maybe a half a mile or a mile, going all the way to the ferry the other direction, major, major, major things are happening. And that's, I call it St. George Staples. And you have the whole Empire outlets that are going over there. They're going to be opening in this spring. Lighthouse Point, it's a big housing complex, hotel. They have over 15,000 square feet of event space. Irby's there now with about 600 apartments, 320 new ones being built, that whole Minthorn complex. So, and I also do real estate, on the side when I'm not doing liquor stuff. The whole North Shore is really booming. It's changing, commercially it's changing. Every time you drive around, I go, to the court, you always see places being built up. And specifically, when my client's store is going on Beach Street, it's just off Van Duzer Street. Now, Beach Street is a two-way street. Additionally, there's plenty of parking on street over there. There's 3 separate bus stops, different numbers that go, to the ferry. But what's critical over there is that, she's maybe about 60, 70 feet off the corner. That Van Duzer Street corridor goes from the Staten Island Expressway and Richmond Road, however you want to get to Van Duzer, and that's like one of the most heavily traveled streets that take you straight down into St. George to the courthouses, et cetera, et cetera. So the physical location of this store really moves the public convenience and advantage because it's just in such a great location. There'll be a lot of vehicular traffic, and like they were saying earlier, there's pedestrian traffic, there's vehicular traffic. It's just a very, very busy spot on Staten Island.
Is there parking?
There's
Street
plenty-
on-street
Yeah, there's
parking.
plenty of on-street parking. But again, what I said
see
to you on
it?
Friday, if you just take a look, the third page in, you can actually see like the size of the store. It's so, to think that such a small place like this would be a threat, it's really sort of laughable. I don't want to say it. It's just.
I don't know that they use the word threat, but
Well,
they
look-
don't want it to affect their business. which
Okay, and like I said, my
it's
clients,
understandable.
have their 1,000 people ready to come to start doing business with them, and they're doing the same as they did last year. And based on the buildup of the store, and like they had said that they put so much money into this store, if it's carrying its own weight that it did when they first bought the place can only get bigger and better. It's a beautiful store. It's an absolute beautiful store. So to think a small store like this that really focuses on non-commercial wines, totally organics, biodynamic, sustainable small batch. There was a bunch of write-ups that I submitted on Friday. I don't really see them as a threat. It's a small, they've been doing consistently $250,000. I'm just guessing that they like to kind of keep it up. Yeah.
I don't have any.
Again, the only.
I do want to ask her something, though.
Mhm.
I'm looking at this on a map, and I'm not saying it's that far away. No,
Oh, no, I want to get to the back.
Oh, you have the map there. How are you told me you could see it from his store. I don't see how that's possible.
It is visible.
If all the
It's
other
not-
buildings aren't there, is that what you're telling me?
It's not clearly visible, but you can see that general area up that hill. You can see the location. But
Can you point out the 2 locations to me?
I just want to say something. I want to clarify a characterization that was made about the traffic. It is true that Bay Street and that area is heavily trafficked. This area, there's nobody.
All right, well, I want to clarify the representation you made, that you can see it. Because I'm not seeing
There's
it.
a picture in the materials that were submitted.
Go
that
ahead,
shows
show me
that
the 2 spots.
Being very familiar with this is Bay Street right here where I'm pointing. A building in, right where this orange and yellow thing is.
Yeah,
This is the store. There's a giant park here.
yeah.
And then, of course, through the whole park, this building, I was actually in my car right here, and I took a picture that I didn't include.
Just show me the two stores.
No problem. So I'm sorry. So that's the one thing, blocked by the park and all these buildings, and he's right up over here, right where my pen is, just short of Van Dusen, on the other side of the street. You can't, it's
We
impossible
submitted
to
a
see.
picture that we're showing that if you're looking, if you're focusing, you're seeing. And the point, I'm not trying to make the point like, oh, it's right there. The point is, it's that it's generally visible, A.
Your point is how close it is.
B, there's nothing going on right
Okay,
here.
all right.
This is a dead zone.
All right.
There is stuff.
Well, that's
going
their,
on.
that's their problem, though, not yours.
But the third point is they made our point for us. They've got their 1,400 people willing to follow them anywhere. Have those people follow them somewhere else.
All right, thank you.
Okay. One more point, my clients live about 6 blocks from the new proposed location.
My family's there 90 years.
All right, thank you.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Fan?
We got enough information.
You guys are not open right now.
Could I just speak
Yep.
in one way?
Sure.
So we were neighborhood people before we opened up our shop. We lived less than a quarter of a mile walking distance away from our initial shop. We spent 5 years there with the intention of staying, and we were, sad to leave. But we became so involved in the community with community friends and families, and we
Okay,
feel
but, I
that-
mean, this is really, like I said to them, this is about public convenience and
I'm so
advantage.
sorry,
I'm sure you're both
No,
great residents
I
of the
understand.
area.
Just to know that the Four Corners that Mr. Visacki was talking about is a really beautiful and viable new neighborhood, very similar to like it's creating a walking community. So to dispute the other woman's point of view is that it's not a driving community in that area. It's very walkable. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
You guys have looked at other locations? Small store, I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Two of the closest stores have been licensed only since 2017. The closest one,
Oh, no, that was,
no, I'm sorry, one was
I mean,
since
it went through some stuff apparently.
since 1992. I'm looking at all the sales figures and so forth, and I just don't see that there's a need for another store in that same cluster, so I'm going to vote to deny.
I'm going to vote to approve. It's two of the closest stores are still two of the closest stores. And this is a wine license, and as the representative pointed out, it's the retail area is going to be 100 square feet smaller to 347 square feet, which is really a tiny store. And as I said, only a wine store. I don't see how they're going to affect any of the four closest stores, given that they have been competing with them for the last several years.
Chairman, a little Buffalo situation. McKalen at the Albany office has been trying to contact the interpreter company and can't get hold of a live person to speak with.
Well, I can't put it over them. I don't want them to have to wait there. Well, I mean, does anybody know English there? I can't. We already asked for an interpreter. We have to use an interpreter.
No, but I can at least let him know what's going on. Do you speak English, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the interpreter was supposed to be in Buffalo, and so were the two of you. Apparently, you got incorrect information from your representative, all right?
Yes.
So you can go to Albany or Buffalo next time. We just need to know which place so we can have the interpreter there for you. Which is better for you?
Buffalo's good, sir.
Okay, so we're going to hold this over until March 6th,
Yes, sir.
all right? We'll have an interpreter there. We're also going to tell Mr. Bingham that he needs to show up,
Yes, I recalled him.
all right?
What number is this?
Was that,
This is
379?
379,
Sorry for the trouble.
all right?
so to,
So you did everything right, you just got wrong information and the interpreter is missing,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
So go back on the 6th to Buffalo. If there's anything about the time, we will let you know in advance, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry for the inconvenience.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. They own the building.
Hold on 1 minute. Don't
What?
This is the second time they've shown up.
You're up in the air. All right, you got it.
All right, so March 6th, okay? Thank you.
No, that's fine. I
Okay,
was just going to
fine.
say if we could get rid of it, we'll get rid of it, but nobody was in the same
You
boat.
can cut us loose on Buffalo. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, back to New York, the next item, 323. It's 8920 Avenue D, Inc.
Gentleman for the applicant, George Williams, one of the owners. I believe there was community board opposition, which we haven't seen a copy of.
There is, but it's
Not
kind of non-specific, well, it doesn't really say anything, other than that they're opposed to it.
They
I
didn't
don't,
ask us to come to present. It's not a 500-foot.
well, I think it's based on the previous history of the place. Am I wrong in that?
Yeah.
He has no connection to the prior owners. He saw a for rent sign when he was driving by. Been in
Well, I
that
don't see
neighborhood.
any, wait, I don't see
We
any
don't have-
previous history.
No, I think there might be history on the avenue.
yeah.
Yeah.
It says previously licensed from 11/24/2015 to 11/30/2015.
Yeah, that's going to be a typo. Oh, it's seasonal. No, that's right. They applied for a seasonal license.
It's like a week.
Well, but probably by the time we got to it, or they filed very late in the season.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, got it.
Throw both out
What's the
there.
Brooklyn Chiefs Youth Organization? Is that a
Yeah, I don't
AAU team or something?
They had a bar?
No, it was like she said, it was a week-long seasonal license about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
I didn't know what that was.
All right, so what's this going to be?
They were on time back then.
His background is in food. I mean, he's had the restaurant YGL for 10 years with no license. So he's going to have a full kitchen.
Where's that?
It's on New Lots Avenue. That's on his questionnaire.
What kind of food is it?
It's Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Without, no license?
No
Yeah,
license.
that's with no license. But so he knows how to put together the food. and
Why
everything.
no license? Just didn't want
It's a
to,
smaller place. It has 2 tables. It's more takeout even.
oh, okay.
So,
Can I ask you something?
yeah.
What are these pictures of? It looks like the back.
Front roll down?
So I didn't see any pictures of the front of the building.
Oh, there should be more than that.
We just didn't get them. It doesn't mean he didn't put them in there.
Yeah. There should be
Okay.
like 6
So we haven't, construction, is the construction done?
When will it be done? Do we have a, is this really the menu? Because there's not a lot of choices.
There was a deficiency where we submitted a second.
You have the
Can I
2
see what you
pages,
have
right?
there?
Yeah, do we have something different?
No. No, this is amended. That was the amended one we got.
I mean, is your menu this small at your place that you have now?
So, Commissioner Hell, sorry, we don't
Thanks for the
have,
upgrade.
we
What's
don't
up?
have a history of
Not at this place.
this location.
At this location,
And
correct.
it's not even a 500-foot.
No, I know, I'm just, but there's, there is a protest, and they're not concerned, obviously, they haven't even met him, so I don't think it has anything to do with him. But they obviously have a concern about the neighborhood,
in the neighborhood a long time. He's.
But he has no experience with, you have no experience with a liquor license? So what, is this gonna be a restaurant? What's the dancing? I mean, here, and you haven't been here before, so I'm not holding this, but the problem we have is people come in and want to open restaurants, and they use that as a guise to get a club, make it a club. And that's what we try to avoid, and when I see dancing live and recorded music, that makes me think it's going to be a club.
Dancing is for like you have a birthday party.
Yeah, but if we allow dancing, we're allowing dancing.
Right.
So,
He put it all on there, so he's not trying to say restaurant, and he put security, he put dancing, he put live music.
What are the, you go ahead. What are the hours?
Yeah, so he wants to be able to be open till 4.
But the chef is only there until 2.
But he's gonna have prepared food. The food's going to be all ready, with trays of food for the entire time they're open.
And who's Yolanda Humphrey? Is that your wife? She's going to be in it with you?
Yes, she's gonna run the restaurant. I'm gonna go full time.
She's gonna be more, she's like down for 20 hours at this location. She's gonna operate the other location.
Oh, you're still going to keep the other places?
Just going to.
What's the sidewalk cafe situation?
So, I believe that I spoke to the landlord, and that's supposed to be on his property, that it's not supposed to need the consumer affairs permit. So we're just trying to confirm that.
Say that again?
So.
Oh, you think that's not the city property that he's putting the cafe on, it's his?
Right. It should be private property.
How many tables are you going to have?
So outside, or are you talking inside is 12 tables.
And outside?
Outside is 3 and 3. I think it's 6. 3 and 3. 3 small tables on each side.
On your drawing, there are 6 tables.
Correct. 3 and 3, yeah.
So there's 6 tables outside and 12 tables inside?
Right.
And a stage and a bar.
It's a glass window? Is there French doors that open?
You mean the entrance?
Yeah.
Does the front of the restaurant open?
There's double doors? It's double doors.
Jeez.
So in the summer, you can open the whole front of the restaurant and walk from the cafe right into the restaurant?
Just to clarify, not 2 licenses ago, there was a license there. They only had a sale to minor, and the licensee prior to that had a sale to minor. There's really been nothing else.
Mr. Allenwood, I'm not sure your client understands the chairman's question.
Yeah, I don't
There's a glass front.
Right.
Is it just one door, or is it, do all the glass have doors open up?
It's a double door, but I don't think it all opens. It's just 2.
No, but do the glass windows open in the summertime? No.
The windows, no.
Just the doors?
Doors.
So how do you get to the, in order to get to the sidewalk cafe, you have to walk out the 2 doors?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's shown on the diagram. It's a double door and the windows don't open.
You having hookah?
you just want, and you want reggae jazz music? Kind of goes with your fare.
How do you know that?
I'm Jamaican.
Yeah. It says on that method of operation, live
Oh, I
music,
see.
Reggae band.
reggae jazz. Reggae jazz, man.
I don't know.
So, have you met with the community board?
No, they didn't ask to see us, so we were surprised that we were called here. I haven't seen the opposition, and, I mean, it sounds like the prior history was 2 sale to minors. It wasn't
No, it's
anything-
clearly a neighborhood issue, not a location
It's not a
issue.
personal issue.
Yeah. I kind of wish.
He's lived in the neighborhood like 20 years. He's lived in East Flatbush. Told me for 20 years. He's been on Conklin for 10 years. He's operated YGL and New Lots for 10 years. I mean, he's been in the community.
What if we were to put this over for you to meet with the community
Who's-
board, to reach out to them?
Yeah, it's still under construction.
Yeah, I mean, it could be to your benefit, because it sounds to me like they're under a misassumption about you, that it's the area. I mean, their reason for wanting to deny you, I don't know. It's,
When you say the area, though, if it's not, there's not three or more within 5.
Well, no,
So it's like, how many blocks away is the problem?
No, the problem is that they sent us a recommendation to deny, which obviously, as you said, it's not 500 foot, so that doesn't really mean that much. But they don't indicate at all why. And there is other licenses referenced in their letter to us that are unrelated to this and not even near this, where they do explain why. And that's why I'm kind of at a loss here.
You received the notice from the community board too, because they did follow up, that's our supplemental. So it has the email that you received along with the letter that was addressed to Mr. Allen Wick.
I didn't receive it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Whatever you guys want to do, you know?
I'm ready to vote, Tom.
Okay, Commissioner Fan?
With 3 security guards, live music, reggae and jazz only, with dancing.
I don't know if our investigators are capable of differentiating between reggae
I
and...
think they are. No managers, security guards, 3 security guards on the weekends when needed. Until 2 a.m. across the board, I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
you can distinguish reggae music because the downbeat is on 3, okay? Instead of just 1, all right? So-
That's something I did not know.
All right, I don't have a problem. I'll vote to approve as well. It's on the same stipulations as Commissioner Fan. I really would like it if you did reach back out to the community board and try to close that loop. I mean.
Or even the police department.
Police department, something, just to.
But I'll vote to approve as well on the same conditions. Good
Yeah,
luck.
for your own well-being.
And you got 2 months, so. No, I would just try to sit down with the police department and say, this is what I'm going to do. It's already been approved. If you have issues, let me know what they are.
The next item is,
Tell them you're meeting with them because we asked you to, okay?
You can keep it, you can keep it.
the next item is 346. Bullseye Restaurants, Inc.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, for compromise before you.
I'll accept.
I'll accept.
I'll accept.
Thank you.
The next item is 328, 1454 Liquor Mart, Inc.
328.
328.
That's not the applicant.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
How you doing? Put your name on the record?
Yes, Juan Poveda?
You're the representative?
Yes, sir.
Where's your client?
She couldn't make it because of the weather.
Where's-
She's on vacation.
You can't get here from the Bronx?
She's not in the Bronx.
Oh, where is she?
She's up in Virginia.
She's
Yeah.
up in Virginia?
Yes. She was away for this week. There's on vacation.
Okay.
When's she coming back?
This Sunday.
Okay, well, that settles that.
3-6.
Over to 3-6.
Now, she needs to be,
And if she's not going to be here 3-6, you're better off telling us now and we'll just get rid of it.
No, she'll be here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
the next item is 313 Tropical Island Lounge, Inc.
morning, good afternoon, I should say. Franz Bernardin, I'm representing the applicant, Tropical Island Lounge, and I'm here with the principal, Erna Lamasier, and her assistant, Linda Bopoff. We were here before the commissioners, before the board, on January 23rd, and we asked for an adjournment at that time. That was due to an impending board meeting, Spring Valley Board of Trustees meeting, and at that meeting, we finally got a vote in favor of Tropical Island Lounge obtaining a liquor license with the restriction that they would cease serving liquor at 10:30 p.m. And I have a certified copy of the resolution. Unfortunately, with the Board of Trustees meeting on February 6th, there wasn't enough turnaround to submit it via email.
Yes, sir, we'll take it here, but stop serving liquor at 10:30, and what, they're gonna close at 10:30 then every night?
Close at midnight.
That's a recipe for disaster.
As far as
You know
what?
that? Well, if one of our guys walks in there at 10:45 and somebody's drinking, you're gonna lose the whole business.
Yeah, I explained that to her. That's why we said 10:30. So literally at 10 o'clock, she'll be shutting down.
And picking up drinks at 10:30.
We've gone back and forth with the Board of Trustees for the last, 8 months now. We've finally been able to resolve some of the issues that they had. And 10:30 was a compromise that both sides came to. Initially, my client obviously wanted her ability to serve liquor until 4 a.m., but she acquiesced to the concerns and the apprehensions of the Board of Trustees, and this is where we're at right now.
Still got the Village of Spring Valley Police. I don't assume they've amended their opinion.
Well, their policy is to do a blanket denial. I've spoken expressly with Lieutenant Richard Olechek, who's been doing the corresponding in regards to this, and he's expressly told me that he'll defer to whatever the Board of Trustees says. And at that time, that's when we all, as a collective, try to come to a compromise here. And the compromise we came to is what is before you, 10:30, a restriction. They've been operating.
So, I mean, did you get anything from the police department? Because while you said that they'll do whatever the board says, they took a position in opposition previously. So we have nothing indicating that they've changed. Do we?
No, I don't have anything.
No. She's been operating this restaurant about to be close to a year now, started in May. No incidents at all.
Oh.
Unblemished record, is a very popular.
I'm sure, but what would the incident be about? There's no alcohol.
What are some of the things that the Board of Trustees took into account to change their disposition in regards to?
I mean, and notably, the mayor voted against it.
Yes.
Someone else just voted absent.
Yeah, they were absent. And that was one of the issues why the mayor said, he would like a full board, but there's never a full board there when we get there. That's one of our issues. That's why, we're here almost, a year and a half later. But with this appearance here today, I implored to them that we need a vote. And, it was 3-1.
So you plan on closing by midnight every day?
The store, yes. The restaurant, correct.
7 nights a week by midnight?
Yes.
And what type of music are you having there? You're open now, right?
Yes, open now. Been open since May of last year.
What type of entertainment you having? What are you doing?
A TV and an iPad where they play music via the TV.
Yeah.
There's an application, a jukebox application where it plays music and the video.
Yeah.
And that's what they use right now.
Okay.
Did we, and I'm sure we dealt with this before, the police sent us a letter that they had a video of a bartender in front of a fully stocked bar?
Yeah, we explained that during the board meeting. That was the first day that she opened. Apparently, she wasn't aware of the fact that not only can't you serve liquor, you can't have it displayed. That day, she called me immediately, and I advised her of the rules. And ever since then, there's been no liquor at all. Obviously, she had to
There was a
serve
little
liquor.
more, you have a summary
Yeah, no, I got it.
from the intern?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't, did you see the video?
Yeah, we saw the video. Yeah,
So it's more than that.
No, that's it. That's all it was, literally. And what makes it interesting, there was a board of trustee, there was a trustee in there from the board there to congratulate her at the
So
time.
what were they drinking out of the martini glass in the video with the shaker?
They weren't drinking. That's not true.
Where did they get the liquor from?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, she's saying that there was liquor on the wall. Yeah. 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 From the house, right, exactly. Right. It was just for a display, really. It was a grand opening. She wasn't aware of that particular room.
That doesn't answer the question.
Where'd you buy it from? Did you buy them?
Yeah, from New Jersey. It was a BG's.
A BJ's is not proper, but yeah.
Okay.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna go with 10:30.
What?
10.
The document sheet.
I have it.
Oh, she's got it.
You have closing at 10:30 or cease sale of
Steve's
alcohol?
Liquor at 10:30.
Close at midnight?
It's been an arduous process for Ms. Lamassier and myself. We've been before the Board of Trustees at least 6 times.
Okay, well, they're in the middle of voting right now, so.
I apologize.
Too many times.
Mr. Bernardin?
Yes.
Do your clients, are they aware where they have to buy liquor from?
Yes, and if they aren't, obviously, I'll advise them of such. The day that you're talking about was literally a grand opening. She's excited. She called me right away.
I get she's excited, and that's fine, but the problem is not just her inexperience, but we're talking about a place that we had to revoke previously.
Right. But
And put a 2-year prescription on it.
Yeah, from what I understand, obviously, she doesn't
She
know.
had nothing to do with that, I get that, but
Right.
this is a
And-
place that's been a problem.
Right, but those
Well,
places.
I mean, all indications are it's gonna be again.
No, not necessarily, not at all. One thing, the area around there has changed, and 2, most importantly, she's conducting this as a restaurant. The places that were operating this same premises were using it strictly as nightclubs. 2 totally different worlds here. She doesn't have a DJ, no live music. I'll refer to the pictures that we sent. It's a family setting.
You did get the support of the Board of Trustees narrowly, but probably against my better judgment, I'll vote to approve.
With the same conditions?
Same conditions.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm voting to deny. Because sometimes I realize local governments can't get out of their own way, and I think this is clearly an example of that, but good luck.
I'm just going to note that even though there's a condition of 10:30 on this license, that you should probably, in the exercise of extraordinary caution, not push that envelope and consider earlier than that, just as a matter of practice.
Duly noted. Thank you. Everybody stay warm.
The next item is 341, Bowl 360 Inc.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Rosa Ruiz. I'm here with the principals, Shelley and Danny. This is an application to change the method of operation.
I'm sorry, who is with you?
Danny, I can't pronounce his name. Wait.
Daniel and Duke
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you want to go from being a bowling alley to a nightclub?
No.
Looks
What
like you've already been a nightclub, actually.
No, what happened was when this application was originally filed, there was always a catering hall on the second floor, and that was included with the application. What happened was when the application was filed originally, they didn't check off the boxes that needed to be checked off that always went with the catering hall.
So they just decided, even after they got caught, that they were going to keep being a catering hall without doing anything about it?
No, actually, they have not. That was part of the things that I was working with counsel's office, of filing all the proper alteration applications and the change to the method of operation so that this way everything matched for what their intention was all the time. And as a matter of fact, when everything was pointed out to him, they have not been using the catering hall at all for the last 3 years.
So some of these charges are from April of 2017, so that's 2 years.
Sorry, 2 years. This should have all been included when the application was originally filed, and those boxes were not checked.
Is that one case that they paid
2 cases, I think.
$45,000?
One $35,000 and one $10,000.
It's 2 cases. I do not have anything pending.
Nothing?
No. I mean, I recognize the severity of this particular incident, but I don't have anything since then.
We didn't do a summary here, did we?
No.
Was this a shooting?
No, no. There was a shooting, but that was also dismissed. That,
That's only because
Yeah, the shooting
our guy
happened. It
didn't
was
show up.
well, because it wasn't, it wasn't his fault, and he does have, they did put in a lot of procedures in
But
place.
see, you may think it's not his fault, and maybe it wasn't, but eventually, if other shootings occur, regardless of what he does, it becomes his fault.
No, he knows that. That's why he works very closely with the police department, and he also has, he's also implemented certain things because of just keeping that element out of it. They don't want it there.
Well, you're adding things that are just going to bring it there, arcade games, videos, DJs, karaoke. Promoters, which is not happening.
Okay, the promoters is fine, but again, this is for the catering hall. The catering hall was always there, and,
So what do you need a promoter for if you have a catering hall? You're either in the catering business or you're not.
okay, so we don't
Are
have
they
that.
in the catering business?
Well, what it is that it's an,
That's a yes or a no.
yeah, they are in the catering, and people want.
So what's the promoter for?
It's 2 level of bowling alley, and the 3rd level is a catering hall.
I get that, but what's the promoter for?
So if you have a wedding and they're promoting their wedding, like, so they're,
You're going to promote a wedding?
we wanted to be clear, because I read the issues we had in the beginning when we were doing the application with Rosa, and we want to make sure that we're able to, if we're doing anything with churches, bands, anything that they want to do in there, we want to be covered.
Who's they do? You're going to do it.
Correct, but any of the patrons that are.
Do you know what a promoter does? A promoter comes to you and says, I'm going to guarantee you 500 people. I want $10 per head for every person I get in this bar.
No.
That's not what I'm.
Do you mean like a wedding planner, a wedding?
Wedding planner, or even any, if we have I can give an example of a modeling, like we had modeling in the place. That's why I try to check off every of the boxes. These are things that a lot of different guests ask us different questions to open up the catering hall. We have never used it in 3 years. We'd like to start using it and utilizing it. We made a lot of changes. It was an issue before with the community, with the bowling center. We changed everything in there to make sure that we 100% operate a good environment right now.
Just so you understand, the difference between a coordinator and a planner is massively different from a promoter.
I've never had promoters in my life, so
So these DJs and live music and everything's going to be upstairs.
Yes.
correct.
Can we limit it to that?
And that's for events,
If you want to. Oh,
private events.
shove it on the license somewhere.
What's the capacity of the upstairs?
The capacity hasn't changed. It's always been the same capacity. I think their capacity is at, I think, almost 700.
760.
Yeah.
You had more than 760 people in there? My gosh. Maximum occupancy charge.
What were you doing when you had over 700, when they got the charge for excess capacity? What was that night?
It was 225 that was red, on the sign when you walk downstairs to the lower level.
Yeah.
So they said it was over capacity of 225.
So on the downstairs level, you had 225. I mean, you had over 225.
We had more, every day we have more than 225 patrons in the bowling center.
At the same time?
At the same time, yeah, we
60,000
have a lot.
square feet.
Yeah, but how many lanes do you have?
64 lanes.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's a
Giant place.
At a time read it wrong.
Wow.
They read it wrong, they apologized to us, and Lieutenant Prida and the team at night said, Danny, close earlier, we agreed, we've been squeaky clean, but anyone coming in, we added extra security guards,
security,
everything else, just to make sure it's a family fun environment. 100%, there's so many people checking in the location, and it's family fun environment from day to night.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Tom, we're ready.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm going to vote to approve the DJ, the live music, the karaoke music, patron dancing. Security guards as needed. Most importantly, video arcade games, but no promoters.
And this is just for upstairs in the catering
Yes.
portion of the building? Nothing to do with the bowling lanes
Bowling
downstairs?
is operating very well right now.
Right. Do you have a bar in the bowling alley?
Bar
Yes.
downstairs.
All right. Now that I'm clear on this, I was all set to vote no on this, but from talking to you, gaining a little bit of understanding, I'm willing to approve as well. And like I said, planners, coordinators, that's fine, doing private events, that kind of goes hand in hand. But as you said, absolutely no promoters.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote to approve. The hours remain the same, though. They close at 1.
Okay,
Alcohol stops at 12.
yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is 393, TCK LLC.
No, I did not say you heard wrong.
I heard it.
Frank Palillo, TCK's Northland Compromise.
Yeah, withdraw charge 6 at council's request.
Appears to be.
What was in the locked fridge?
Wine,
Wine?
wine.
Why wouldn't they open it? Who was going to drink the wine?
They didn't have the key. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The place was barely open.
Who has the key?
Kenny does, the principal.
He wasn't there?
Actually, he was at a hearing at the State Liquor Authority.
How'd that go?
It just left.
I thought it went well.
Did it? Is that case over?
Yeah.
Is that one of your wins, your big wins?
One of the few, yeah.
One of the few and the proud, yeah, there you go.
He had a day here where he had like 3 straight dismissals.
That's why he's never lost
That's
one.
why I come late. So come late because you can't find another lawyer. man.
Well, get 50% back, he's lost plenty.
Just 50% would be a bargain.
All right, I'll accept.
Accept.
I'll accept as well.
Thank you.
Next item is 345, 249 Street Food Mart, Inc. Going once. 345, 249 Street Food Mart, Inc.
Accept.
Huh?
I'll accept.
Yeah, I'll accept.
Okay. You all good with that?
We all accept
All
it,
right,
yes.
318, Zero Lounge Restaurant, Inc. I just wanted to have you walk all the way back.
Making sure you get your exercise today, Frank.
Matter after hearing.
So, withdraw 1 and 2, sustain 3, dismiss 4, sustain 5.
What are you doing about the noise? You have a what?
We have the noise control, the app, and we monitor the noise periodically.
And then what? What do you do?
How
when
does
you
that work?
realize you've crossed the threshold, then what do you do?
Excuse me?
When the
When it's
app
too loud,
tells you
when the app
you've
tells you
crossed the
it's too loud.
threshold,
We bring down the music, of course.
And now we told you once about the security guards. Have we done anything to fix that? This is the second time.
We now have licensed security guards.
Do we?
Yes.
Okay. You're the owner?
I might suggest, rather than relying on an app, that you actually go out and buy a real dB meter.
Okay.
You ready to vote?
Yes.
Maybe not.
I'm at 10,000, but I could be convinced.
Convince her. Oh, my goodness. I for a second, my heart just stopped. 10,000. I mean, the charges are security guard and noise. And I was thinking along the lines of 1,000.
I wasn't there.
I'm at 4,000.
Still more than I thought. I mean, I actually thought she made a good showing at the hearing and addressed most of the concerns. I just felt that it was an ALJ who believed the other side more than my side.
That's the way those hearings go sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm taking into account.
I'll do 4,000 as well, and she gets a, what'd you call that thing?
A dB meter.
A dB meter.
Wow.
Decibel meter.
And that's because of the unlicensed security guard. We, a year later, do the same thing over again. So, assuming Commissioner Fan.
That's fine.
Will come down.
4,000.
Okay.
There's just, they're operating under SAPA. There's one other charge that you sent back. It was mostly for, it was for 2 security guards. You reopened the default. Are you good with me issuing this?
Another unlicensed security guard?
It was like, it was a couple weeks after this.
Yeah.
You reopened.
Where is that, Chris? Do we?
I can check.
The default was just returned. You guys.
But it was just
overturned
one charge?
2 charges, same date, so probably 1 charge per person.
Probably back with the prosecutor.
All right, yeah, you can
Yeah, I
look at
think
it.
I'll
I
get
think
an
we
issue.
just have to revisit that unlicensed security guard issue. It was an issue of his training not being up to date. He was licensed. The only issue is that he hadn't taken the last course.
I haven't seen that, so.
It's in the report, it's in the decision. We presented the evidence, and the judge notes it.
Oh, you mean this case?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I think that the fine
He set the fine, let him.
is truly too high for someone who had a
Convince
license.
him, I can be convinced.
Well, the security guard was licensed. He just hadn't taken his
Is
most
that
recent.
still a violation, Chris?
It's not. It's not supposed to be.
But how did they get registered if they didn't take the class?
They have to do CLEs. They have to do continuing education.
He was registered and the CLE ran out and he didn't
Right.
take the continuing ed yet.
He's
We
still a
see that
licensed security guard.
We see that periodically.
But I didn't think that was a violation with the
No, we
authority.
do have a default.
What's
I
if-
mean, let's handle what's in front of us at the moment.
That's
No,
not what I'm talking about.
that is what's in front of us.
Okay, well, I think that the ALJ's found what the ALJ found, and I think that that's exactly what we should just handle.
No,
as-
no, he's asking whether, what he's asking
Right.
for is mitigation.
Well, I understand, and that's, I mean, I think that with these 2 charges and this type of history, I think $4,000 is more than fair,
Can I just
considering the history
read
we
from the
have here.
report? I further find that although Mr. Cruz had not taken the required annual training, he was a licensed security guard.
Like I just said, and as I will say again,
I'll bet.
I am far more concerned about the history of this licensee and the noise violation. I think $4,000 is more than fair.
I disagree with you, Chris.
That's fine. You're
Respectfully.
allowed to, you are
I just
allowed to do
think
that.
I just think that
Where are you at? Because we got to move on.
he's an unlicensed, he's a licensed
All
security
right,
guard.
he's at 4,000.
So 4,000.
4,000 and the meter, right?
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next item is 390 and 391, Restaurant de la Mora, Inc.
Tim Allen had to leave. I can stand up.
Does he know you are standing up? Okay. As you know, you're taped, so we have this for posterity.
Sure.
I'll accept.
I'll accept.
All right, you all set? Next item, 388-89.
Good afternoon, Matthew Leone for the licensee. This is a conditional no contest plea to settle the 2 charges.
I'll accept.
Mostly safety violations here.
Yeah, there was, on that one, yeah, there was the code violation. There was also the sale to a minor, that
It's not 2
bartender.
charges, it's 11 charges.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, the two
Cases.
cases. Yeah, the code violations were all taken care of. And proof and the exit signs, the fire extinguishers, that was all done. The electrical cords were fixed. The beer and liquor invoices were provided to Investigator Stravalli. And that was all done, within a few days or within a week or two of of Investigator Stravalli's investigation or inspection. And with the sale to the minor, the bartender, it was her first day at work. She doesn't work there anymore, and they are utilizing an ID scanner.
6,500 accept.
6,500 accept.
Thank you.
343, Gray Lady East LLC.
Good afternoon again. Is it open compromise?
What? You guys have paid 24,000.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't, what are we doing here?
The 20,000 was a result of various.
No, but how do they get the first time fine for sale to minor to 18-year-old with this history? Did he not know about the history?
Oh, I'm sure. Is this Mike's case?
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows about the history, but I don't want to speculate on why he.
I thought 3,500 was the right penalty for it.
Not with a history, it's, I mean, typically, with a history, the minimum would be 6,500, but that would be with a minimal history. This is pretty extensive, although it's not sales to minor.
It's actually not. It's two charges. 2 prior disciplinaries.
3,
but one is huge.
I only have 2 prior disciplinaries.
No,
that I'm aware of.
1,000, a 20,000, and a 3,000.
Oh, the 3,000 is news to me. I'm sorry. The 20,000 was, the 1,000 was a half-assed disorderly premises.
Right. But the other 2 were not.
What was the 3,000 more?
Failure, pre-mixing, failure to comply with unlicensed security guards, and 2 counts of local regs.
Sangria. I thought that was bundled in the 20. Well, we're hoping.
So you got through the summer, last summer, without any major.
Well, sell to minor. Was August 2018.
That's all I've. Yeah.
We have nothing pending, right?
Right.
Yeah, so.
No, it was, and we have, I just wanted to mention that we do
Are you
have.
familiar with this place? No, I'm.
Yes.
Wait, no. I have nothing from 2018. Other.
We have new management in place. That was not supposed to happen. All of our employees are TIPS trained. The employee who,
How old was the person?
do we know?
Was it one of our people, or?
No, it was a local police.
All right, I'm
it
ready.
was an 18-year-old agent.
Go ahead, Tom.
Commissioner Fan,
I'll take the 3,500.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll take the 3,500 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
That's the only reason I kept my mouth shut. I will take it reluctantly.
Well, we hope not to be here again.
No, so do I.
Thank you.
364, PWIB Claudio Management 2 LLC.
Already? I remember you asking me about these licenses.
When did you start branching out into the Hamptons? That's quite a.
This is Greenport.
No, the old one was the Hamptons.
Yeah, that one was the Hamptons. Well, they have a place in Manhattan.
Oh, they do?
What's the place is on?
Gray Lady. Corporate name is Bar North.
So I found this one interesting. There's a intoxicated woman, passed out. Someone says, "I can help," and slaps her to wake her up.
No, she wasn't intoxicated. She passed out from the heat. It was very hot. No, it's the truth. Listen, if you know Claudio's.
I can help, smack.
But if you know this premises, it's a restaurant. This is not a bar.
All right.
So one of the people there is a trained EMT, and he's working on her, and the police come, and he goes to move this way and accidentally hits the cop in the mouth and gets arrested for it.
Is
So
there
was it-
anything pending here?
No.
I don't think so.
All right, dismiss one and dismiss two.
Dismiss.
Sorry, I thought he slapped the lady who was on that. It's all right.
Next item is 392, Tazer Ltd.
Tozer. I really didn't want to settle this.
$2,500 accept.
Is there anything pending here, Chris? What's the deal with them not being able to figure out how many people they're allowed?
This is a funny case. I did not want to settle it, to be honest. We settled it because we were doing a new place. This client was doing another place, and the deal fell apart at the last minute. So we do believe that the police officers were wrong. This is
They're off by 57 people?
It's a large venue with different signs in different rooms, and people moving from room to room. You would have to say that though that number of people in that room at that time to be overcrowded.
Nothing pending.
All right, I'll accept, but they better.
The licensee has been around for over 20 years, I think.
No, I get that, but you know the neighborhood they're in,
And that's the
causes
point.
problems.
That's the point. They're not a problem in that neighborhood.
All right.
Set?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't have any other items signed in.
Good.
Good to go, move forward?
Yeah.
312 is held over to 320. 314.
Sustain one.
I had dismissed for this one. Because we notified him late, took it upon itself to reach out to municipality, no adverse history.
Yeah, no, we did drop the ball, and he had been relying on us. All right, you want to dismiss? Dismiss.
Yes.
Dismiss.
That's fine. Dismiss.
317.
Accept.
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 Last one, though. I hope they're watching.
That's a problem.
321.
That's all issued.
Yeah, yes, you can issue.
What
This-
is, why didn't they
321.
come in?
This is the availee.
Yeah.
Jackie is applying for
Hang on,
license that they availed, and it was previously revoked.
Captain
Yes.
Principal was the
I would have
availee.
them come in.
No, they're not here, so I'm just, I'm denying. I wouldn't have granted
All
it.
right,
And I
deny.
wouldn't have granted it anyway.
Okay.
All good with that?
Yep.
21 denied.
334.
No response, huh?
This is,
All right, cancel and bond.
what?
Failure to
Wait,
permit
what number?
inspection.
334.
Oh. But they've been licensed since '98.
Well, they can recon if it's that big a deal, but I mean, you can't let up people not onto your place.
Okay. Cancel and bond.
All good there, all right.
Cancel and bond.
335.
I should get their response. 335, stayed to pay the fine.
Yes, I'll accept to pay the fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Accept.
336.
Sustain one, dismiss two, sustain 3, 4, and 5.
I'm at cancel.
Yep. Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
337.
Dismiss one.
Dismiss.
Dismiss one.
338.
I'm at 2,000.
Okay.
2.
Yep.
338, what was that,
338.
2,000?
Yes.
Yes.
342.
Is this the one that has the DJ that keeps having the DJ?
Yeah, it's a Chinese restaurant. It's a club.
Oh, this is Jade Farm again.
We should call him
This
that.
is all a year ago.
Do we have anything pending?
I'm sure, actually.
Just did
'cause I
one.
just know this name is familiar.
No, it's the old
The June Land
Limelight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it keeps popping up in my world.
Based on what I'm seeing right here, I had counter at 10,000.
Let's see. I have no additional notices of pleading, but I expect more to be coming shortly.
Sure. Why? What gives you that impression? You have complaints?
Information in my machine.
Okay. So what do you want to do here?
I wanted to counter.
Counter at 10,000. Bring
Okay.
them in.
Counter, oh, you do want to bring him in?
I don't
Okay, bring
know.
him in.
136.
3-6.
Okay. 344.
That's counter at 6,500. I realize it's 500, but that's the,
6,500.
344,
Yep.
6,500.
347.
accept,
Accept.
348.
accept,
Accept.
Accept.
349.
Accept.
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 350.
Accept.
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 351.
Accept.
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 353.
At 3,000.
3,000.
At 3,000 too.
354.
Accept.
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 55.
Accept.
2,500. Accept.
Accept. We all accept it.
356.
Dismiss 1, 2, and 3.
Dismiss.
Dismiss.
358.
Accept.
Accept.
But that's the, once again, the beginning of the end for them too.
6,000, yep.
There's more.
359.
Accept.
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 360.
17.5.
1,750 from.
Accept.
Did they charge this correctly, Chris?
For sound?
Yeah. Oh, I guess general is noise. Okay, yeah, I'll accept.
Accept.
There is a noise
Right.
charge.
Provision in there.
361.
Accept. Reluctantly.
Accept.
362.
Dismiss.
Dismiss.
Yeah, I didn't see anything here done.
363 is held over
To
to the 20th of March. 365.
Accept.
Accept.
cancel bond, accept.
366.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel bond.
367 and 68 is all held over to the 6th.
By who, Flynn?
Yeah, Mr. Flynn is away on the school break. I think he's down in, Cancun or something, and I don't know, who knows. 369.
Accept.
Accept.
Yes.
Good with that?
Accept,
Okay.
yeah.
370.
That was at 500.
Is that the, that's what I was at too, but is that the delegated amount, 500?
No, it should be 1,000.
No, then we can go 500. 500.
371.
Second time here.
Yeah, I got 8,000 or more, unless you guys want more.
8,000 is okay.
8,000.
372.
8,000 accept. 8,500 accept.
500.
All right.
All right.
373.
Accept.
Accept.
Good with that?
Yes.
Three,
Yeah, we are all accepted.
375.
Only because we hammered them last week, we all accept.
375.
Accept.
275, 10,000 accept?
Yep.
There's nothing at the moment, so I'll issue a.
Can we re-emphasize the condition, the new conditions? Just repeat the newly imposed conditions again.
Just,
Tom, can you put that in the letter?
As a reminder, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
376.
Accept.
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 377.
Accept.
Withdraw to.
Oh, withdraw two and accept.
Accept.
Accept, yeah.
378.
Accept.
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 380.
So I was informed by Joe that the lawyer did get back to him and will put a scanner in all three of his licensed premises, so given that, I'll accept.
I talked to the prosecutor, still just waiting for some letter acknowledging that that's what they would do.
Right, but I got it verbally
Okay.
from, that they've agreed to do it.
Okay.
20,000 plus scanners everywhere?
Scanners, and he's got three different licensed premises. Scanners in
Okay.
all of them. Scanners that are approved by enforcement.
Right. 381 and 82.
Accept.
7,500 accept.
Accept.
And I don't, this was when actually we had held over for them to appear and they didn't. 383.
Accept.
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 384,
Accept.
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 385,
Accept.
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 86 and 87 held over to the 6th. 394. This is just Secretary's Office taking over ATAP from Council's
Yeah, I'll
office.
adopt that.
Adopted.
Adopted.
395,
Accept.
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 397,
Accept.
Accept.
1,500, accept.
398, and 400.
Cancel and bond, I'm at.
Suspension.
I mean, they were, the suspension was in, correct, Chris, am I wrong here? The suspension was in place, and then they sold untaxed cigarettes while it was in place?
Yeah, that's why the second charge is improper conduct,
Yeah,
not the...
I'm a cancel, counter a cancel for me.
Cancel.
399,
Accept.
Cancel and bond. Accept.
Accept.
401's been held over to the 6th. Same with 402 and 403 held over to the 6th. 404 also to the 6th.
These are all Flynn?
Yes.
Wow. Guess you didn't pre-plan that vacation.
405,
Accept.
You said 404
Cancel
to the
and
6th?
bond.
yes. 405,
Cancel and bond?
Yep.
Yep.
406 is adjourned to the 6th. 407,
Level warning. Accept.
Accept.
Letter warning, accept.
408,
I'm at 3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
409,
2,000. Accept.
2,000, accept.
410, 411.
Cancel for the record.
Cancel for the
Bond
record.
claim.
Cancel and bond, actually.
Yep.
Yep.
412,
Accept.
The Thirsty Turtle.
Two.
I'll accept.
Rochester, Victor.
I don't have anything else signed in.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
You all set?
All set, thank you.
Meeting's adjourned.